Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Fantasy football is rolling on DraftKings right now, specifically best ball here. DK with the biggest tournament in best ball history going. $20 million prize pool, $3 million to first. We're going to be finding some field beaters with my guy, Rubio Dimes. Rubio Dimes, good to have you on the show, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, you had a Greg on, a couple days ago, so I decided to keep the streak of Gregs going there for you at JSU, but I've been watching the shows. Been nice to have a bunch of different guests you got on this year. It's so good. It's so well done, and I got a good feeling that you're going to have some good results, especially in that 5-5-5 stuff. It's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. We've definitely had a good roll. If you didn't check it out, me and Coach Beak or Greg Branos, I had him on Sunday, and we drafted a 5-5-5. That video is still on this channel. You can go back and check it out anytime. Great time with him, and I'll actually be going on his show tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, check that show out tomorrow with. You guys know him as the Coach Speak Index, but Greg Branos does great work over there, getting you all the coach speak you need to dominate in fantasy football and best ball here. But Rubio, we've done this for a while. We've done this for a few years now, and I was glad you reached out. I wasn't going to reach out to you because I know you're busy. You're a busy guy now. You're hashtag, rich, maybe too rich a little bit. You're also getting married though, so that was more the reason why I didn't reach out. So I got this text yesterday. He's like, hey, man, I want to hop on a show. And I was like, all right, I wasn't going to ask you, but I'm glad you want to hop on. We're going to draft in the $25 best ball, $3 million to first over on DK here. So I'm going to pull it up on my phone now. And then I'll do I'll give the old countdown here for anyone that wants to get in on the action here. But Rubio, this show, we want to find some field beaters. We want to find some guys that, maybe people are sleeping on. And you came in saying, I got a ton of hot takes this year. So I can't wait to hear those hot takes.
Oh, I'm peppered with them a little bit. I will flag plant getting Travis Hunter right last year. That was my biggest stand last year, was the Travis Hunter fade. I just think that there's a lot of instances today where, not just today, but like this year, where I just couldn't believe it. I haven't done too many drafts, obviously not as much as you or anything like that, but I've probably done about a dozen. And some of the ADPs, JSU, like when we get into the actual draft and stuff, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, that doesn't make any sense to me, the entire time. And, we'll get into it.
I don't mean to interrupt, but we're going to hop in the draft now. So anyone that has their phone out, we're hopping in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. $25 to enter. I get in literally one of 12. So anyone that wants to draft with us, feel free, get in the waters here. This is going to be a Rubio draft too here. I know none of his takes either. So this is going to be really fun because normally we argue about football takes like the whole time. So normally me and Rubio don't agree. So this could be a really fun show here. And the fact that I'm going to have to capitulate, as they say, on some of Rubio's picks here, Greg. But like I said, if anyone wants to get in, we need, I think, 2 more people left. If anyone wants to hop in a $25 DK best ball Millie over on DraftKings here, $3 million to first. Get in, I think, one more spot here. So Rubio, while this thing fills here, you were talking. I interrupted you, but I mean, talk about it, because you were talking up your Travis Hunter fade. I was with you there. I thought the Travis Hunter stuff was ridiculous because he was going in like the 5th, 6th round. I'm like, this is just silly.
It's like one of those things too, where it's like, look, I don't have a take on every single player. Like, I think the ADP does a good job most of the time, but there's like, when you just get to it, you can have like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players. You're just like, this doesn't make any sense to me. And you don't need to draft those guys because, if you have a hard enough stance against them, get overweight on some other good players. And, it's like one of those things. But man, like some of these guys where I just can't see myself getting any of these guys. Like, I'll just be honest, like the first one off the rip and stuff too. Like when I did my own rankings, I didn't like to look at the ADP and stuff. Like Kenneth Walker at like 14 and stuff. I'm like looking who he's going ahead of. It's like, he's going ahead of like A-Chain and Chase Brown and Hampton. I'm like, what has changed from Kenneth Walker? I mean, he's been injury prone his entire career. That's kind of what kept him down in his ADP and stuff. So yeah, like that was just like my first round. I got one for each round when we kind of get into it, JSU.
Well, before I get into, because we're going to fight, like literally, I love how, by the way, everyone is starting to use at Run Pure the off the rip stuff. I love it. I love it. I love that everyone's starting the off the rip stuff. I've been saying it forever. It is so good to say. It just rolls off the tongue so nice. But it is funny. Your first take is about Kenneth Walker, but I did just want to shout out a couple people in chat here. We got Coach Sav stuck at work, can't draft, but here for the content. Appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, you got to draft. You got to have like an extra monitor at work. That's your fantasy football monitor, bro. I mean, come on, we got to have an extra one. So you got your computer, and then you get your fantasy football monitor. All right, that's how you got to do it here. The phone is tough. I won't lie. Sneaking the phone at work is got to be a little tough here. So yeah, you got to get an extra monitor to get these things filled here. Crazy storms in my area. CW's talking about his golf league got canceled. Power went out. Well, you know what that means? It was a sign from the fantasy football gods that you should hang out with me and Greg and draft in the $25 best ball millie on DraftKings. That's just the sign here, bro. I'm just telling you what it is. We got Richie Smalls in chat. Good to have my guy Richie. What's going on with you? Marvin Moms. My guy Jim Halpert, he's up on the clock right now. Yeah, the True D-Gens. Good afternoon, us True D-Gens getting hyped for D. I already put in bets, bro. I already got bets up. All right, Rubio, you are on the clock here, and Puka Nacua is at the top of ADP. What are you doing here?
As long as Stafford is healthy, I just don't see a world where Nacua isn't the guy there. Especially at 5, you're getting a slight discount, but I saw you did a CMC draft the other day, right? But let's get started with Puka here. And I just think there's a lot to like with the Rams. I know that they're just going to be a dominant team. And yeah, it's Puka, man. Like I think Chase and Smith and Jigba, I would have him ahead of him, though.
So did you just I was going to bring this up, but there's actually Scheffner was breaking a little bit of big news before we hopped on. And he was talking about how, and that's okay. I mean, I don't care about the risk here, but he was talking about how Puka Nacua, Josh Jacobs, there's a few guys that aren't out of the woods yet in terms of possible suspensions. Obviously, Puka Nacua with some of his comments, and then the biting situation, and Josh Jacobs with his situation and everything that he had going on. He was saying he wouldn't be shocked if something did happen, but he didn't say like there for sure was a suspension happening. He just said like these guys aren't out of the woods yet. They're still reviewing their situations. And I did think at least we should note there might be a Puka fall here, Greg. And if there is, it's because of those comments and the fear of a possible suspension. So what are you doing? Obviously, you might not have known that because I kind of just saw the video 10 minutes before we went on. So it's kind of fresh. What do you think about that?
At the end of the day, you're playing for the $3 million up top, right? So, is he going to be available for your $3 million up top? Yeah. I don't think his dip would slide really that far, especially if it's only like 1 or 2 games. Like, who knows? What if it's 4 games? Then I think you could talk about docking him around. But he still is going to have top 5 upside on the entire slate, especially when that comes into the playoff format, where you need to have top 5 upside across every position. So
right.
I think it's worth noting, right? Like, hell, if you were to say that you got him at 5 here, and then a week later he's going at 10, you'd be like, oh, damn, it could have improved the other teams. But
okay, that's a good thing here. What would make him? What would it have to be to slide him out of the first round?
I think 4 games would do it. I think 2, he would be kind of going more toward that Justin Jefferson range.
He'd be going the back end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you there. And you know what, Rubio, I'll just buy.
Yeah,
The risk is the risk, but the player is still, when he's on the field and he's playing, he's just one of the best
still, yeah.
players in fantasy football. So if your team can make it through those first few weeks and you got Puka coming back, like, I'm just going to probably end up buying, but we'll see here. Now, I do want to get to your Kenneth Walker take because that was a hot take, but we are almost up here. And just to give you, Brock Bowers does go, that's
Oh,
unfortunate. Okay, so we will agree there, but we got Drake London, Achan, Rashid Rice, Malik Neighbors. Where are you going in this range?
yeah. I think we went wide receivers. So I think A-Chain would be the pick here, but at the same time, like if you want to do London, I wouldn't be against it if you don't have
No,
enough.
no, no. Which one would you go?
I think I would go A-Chain, man.
Okay.
I just think there. Look, I'm not a Rashid Rice guy. I think Drake London situation's a little bit muddy. Like there's still a lot of weapons there in Atlanta. I know he's had some huge games though. That's the one thing that I won't say bad about London. He's got probably top 10 upside on any given slate. That's why he's going, 21 there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I can't trust Neighbors' knee. That scares me. I think he's fine where he's at ADP wise, JSU. But like when you have A-Chain and London there, and I think I would even have Nico Collins over him. I just get a little bit off put by that. That being said, I definitely think Neighbors is a better pick than like Rashid Rice. That's another one too.
Well, Neighbors is a way better player than
Yeah.
Rashid Rice. That's and that's kind of the hard thing to decipher from. You got the better like player talent, and then you got like the guy who just consistently, when he's on the field, is crushed from a fantasy perspective. So you're fighting those two things right there. But I got to go back to the Kenneth Walker thing. You brought up Rashid Rice. You're not in on Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker's like one of my. I was kind of like laughing as you're talking about it, because Kenneth Walker's like literally one of my biggest stands. That he's just what's funny about it is I don't think the Chiefs are going to be that good this year. Like, I think when we look back, the Chiefs might end up third in their division and be like a middling team. We're up here. Lad just went. Devontae Smith, Trey McBride.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, Emeka Buka, Love. Who you going with?
I think it's Devontae all day. I think he's one of my favorites in this range, without a doubt. With no A.J. Brown, it's going to be Devontae Smith getting fed all year. I know that you guys probably talked about that all, every show and stuff when Devontae Smith's name gets brought up. But he was a Heisman winner. He is still really damn good at football. And now you got the biggest target share guy out of that room, and in comes Devontae Smith to get even more work. Easy click.
Not just the target share, though. The biggest diva. Like one of the biggest. I know wide receivers are kind of diva. Like they all want the football. But man, did he go overboard. And if he didn't get the football, he's on the sideline reading the book, pouting, yelling at people, trying to fight his coaches and quarterbacks and stuff. I don't know if you get that from Devontae Smith.
No.
Like maybe you don't, but I think that's going to make it easier for Jalen Hurts to be like, let's get this guy the rock. He's not just yelling at me constantly to get him the football. Like, and he can do it, right? Like he was, and I'm not a college guy, Greg, so you're more of a college guy, but he was like one of the best receivers in college when he was there, right?
By far. And like, honestly, you can also put some of the onus on Hurts not being, an elite level thrower. I think he's a great leader and stuff, but it's just he's still getting open at a very high clip, and he still has some insane games. That was with AJ Brown, and and now with him gone, Mekhi Lemon's going to be a guy that a lot of people like and stuff. But it's Devontae Smith's room. I just think there's a world where he gets I want to bring this back real quick, Jay. I did call JSN leading the league in catches last year.
I remember you love JSN.
I think Devontae Smith could be top 5 in catches this year. So that would be the one thing. I think just about like everything around Devontae Smith is positive vibes for me here.
I could see him top 5 in targets, receptions. I could see that. I could definitely see a world where that happens, especially if Lemon is like actually banged up and they go for a chunk of the season with him kind of not fully 100% and out there all the time. I do think there's a possibility there. But so my case, I want to bring it back real quick. My case on Kenneth Walker is more just the Chiefs have not had a dynamic running back, a dude who can create explosive runs, Rubio, not 8-yard runs. Okay. Not Kareem Hunt longest run was like under 10 yards or something. Like it was insane. The Chiefs ranked like, I think it was second worst in explosive run rate. Like they were terrible. They just couldn't do it. And it was a lot of Kareem Hunt. You know what I mean? I think with Kenneth Walker in there, they're going to feed him the rock. They brought him in. They paid him. Pat Mahomes coming off of an ACL tear. I think you see him run less. And I think you see him use the running back more out in space. I think you see them feed the running back a ton, which they kind of did in the goal line situations anyways. And now they just have a really good running back, not Kareem Hunt, who's just, past it at this point here. So we are 3 picks in here. We are going on to our 4th pick here at pick 44 and 1. So I just want to pull up ADP. Josh Jacobs, ETN, DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Byshell Tootin, Terry McLaurin, David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift goes there. What are you doing in this range?
How much Burden you got? Is it enough?
Is it enough? It's my highest. It's my highest owned play. Where's Luther Burden?
Hold on,
I'll tell you right there.
Yeah, we 100% agree on. Oh my, yeah. Let's get another one. Let's do it.
Okay,
I'm with you 100%, JSU. I think that. Look, I'm not a Caleb Williams guy at all, and I've been.
You're not dipping him at all for the injury, right?
No,
obviously,
no.
Taking him at ADP.
He's too good. And I think that everything around this Bears team is going to make Caleb Williams the guy who, if he performs, everyone's going to produce, right? And he didn't perform a lot last year. He performed, in garbage time and stuff like that, and then didn't really perform against weak teams. But if he just shows up and gets the ball to the playmakers this year, this Bears team is going to be elite. And I think Burden is that guy where, it honestly feels like him and Loveland. Now with DJ Moore gone at Buffalo, I think that's another thing too. Like, I can't trust the Buffalo wide receiver. That's why I didn't even think about DJ Moore there. Look, Josh Allen is so good. People can talk about, how good he was with Diggs and stuff, but he spreads it around more than anyone. And I know that maybe that's a lack of an alpha or whatnot, but man, there's a world where DJ Moore gets 5 targets a game next year. I don't want to be a part of that world.
I agree with you on DJ Moore. I also agree with the good fella 7272 saying if I love K Walker as well. If Kareem Hunt can look decent there, then KW should produce nicely. I agree. The good fella Rubio's just wrong on that one take. It's okay. He can't be right on everything. He's going to be right, I think, on a couple of his takes. Like Devontae Smith, I think he's got a good chance to be right on. He might not be right on the K Walker take, but
real quick on the Kenny Walker thing, I'll say this: my fear of him is, can he carry a full workload? He's been hurt a lot the last 3 years. I've really liked him in the 50 and 60 range, and I think we agree on this too, JSU. We don't think the Chiefs are going to be good. Right? Yep. The offense was very lackluster. But if you can guarantee me a fully healthy season from Kenneth Walker, yeah, I think he should go in the top 2 rounds. We haven't seen that from him, ever. And I do think that, if they do try and feed him, I feel like we just have a sample size of 3+ years where he just hasn't been the guy to do that.
So we got David Montgomery, J-Mo, Quinshon, Parker Washington, Mike Evans. I think there's a clear pick here, but I want to hear who you got.
This is the part where I'm kind of in between I don't love this range, but I think Monty, there's a lot of buzz around him, right? A lot of buzz, positive ways where he's going to be the dog in there. He's a touchdown guy too. I think Houston, I think they're going to be good. I think Stroud does. I think he bounces back very nicely. I think
so
Houston does well.
That was the obvious pick for me in the 5th round.
Yeah.
I have him ranked as a 4th round running back. I think he's at the end of the year. I think he's going to probably outperform Josh Jacobs from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, I really
and I think he should be going in that range. To me, Rubio, Josh Jacobs and David Montgomery, what's the difference? Honestly, what's the difference? I don't think there is much of a difference right there. They're 2 guys that are going to, they need a bunch of volume to get there, most likely, right? They need that, but also their teams probably are going to lean on them and give them that volume there. So they're pretty, in my mind, they're pretty safe bets. If they stay healthy, they get the workload to give us consistency. Again, are you going to get like the spike week 30-point games that you're always going to want from that? Probably not, right?
But we talk about this too. I know we both said it. Like after the first year where we were doing shows a lot, we both said, you know what? Getting 15 from your running back position is so valuable on a week-to-week basis. Yeah, it's unreal.
Hey, DeAndre Swift was on the $2 million winner last year. Yeah. Like seriously, how many times did he get? Like 12.
Oh my God, endless amount of times. And he shared a lot with Monunga too. Like he was still on the winner.
And I keep going back to this, but the guy had 3 usable running backs the whole year.
That's interesting. I didn't know.
He had DJ Giddens. He had and then he had like Trey Benson, who got hurt, I think, and one other scrub who never like really played. So legit took he had Bijan, Swift, and Stevenson. Those were his running backs.
Ramondre?
Yep, those were it. Who was one of the best value picks as a running back.
Like when you really look back on it, Ramondre was like that's who you're trying to find late in rounds too.
So he had one anchor running back, right? That just like held it down, held one spot down, and then he had Swift and Stevenson, who probably just went back and forth for double digits.
That's interesting. I like that. That's actually a really good kind of point there, and it shows the value of taking shots late too. Like, you know, not that it happened, but like, you know, Giddens or Benson, those type of guys. Where what if they did produce too? Like, they're not very, you know, not drafted much at all and stuff. Like, there's value in drafting some of those younger guys in the back end who aren't getting selected at all. Where if they did perform, like, you know, Puka Nacua 3 years ago, and he was undrafted in probably half the drafts overall, like. You know, you're trying to find a guy who's not drafted every single draft, right? He still left some on the table despite winning.
Yeah. So we're almost up. This is a range that I think is pretty tough with Jordan Tyson gone. We got Brian Thomas Jr., Drake May, Marvin Harrison, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Warren, Ramondre. I mean, DK Metcalf, QJ. You see, Jalen Hurts is here. We could just.
I was going to say, I saw Jalen Hurts down there, and I really like Devontae, right? Cue him up there. Let's just kind of talk through this real quick. But I look, I'm okay with like Marvin Harrison, but honestly, securing the stack. But we could probably get him on the back end. But if you wanted to go with like a Marvin Harrison Jr. for the upside on a week-to-week basis, that's going to be a team that's trailing a lot. You know, let's do Marvin gut check.
Marvin,
I got a lot of hope in his talent, JS.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of people who have, you know, have made this impression that he's just not good, right? And I get it. But I just think that the volume there is probably going to be him and McBride and Michael Wilson. I want to know your take on Michael Wilson real quick because their ADP is pretty close. Do you have a take on Marvin Harrison or Michael Wilson?
Well, I'll say this. I had Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison pretty close pre the ADP getting to, you know, crazy on Michael Wilson, because Michael Wilson was going pretty late early in the season. And now, you know, obviously he shot up. I think he's 78 in ADP or something like that. Yeah. So they're closing the gap on Marv, which I think is right, Rubio, because we always talk about like talent, right? Like Marv has the talent. But when do we just say like, okay, but Michael Wilson has the consistency? Like he's just like always there. He's just always doing stuff. And Jalen Hurts goes right there. So that's all.
You're kidding me.
That's always fun right there. I mean, so like my take is more like I would take the cheaper receiver for Arizona, who's a shitty offense anyways. But now it's close. I think there's a debate. Well, now we can look back on that and say maybe we made a mistake going not Jalen Hurts there, but it is what it is. Drake May still on the board. I know we don't have Patriots, but when is it enough to just say like we take him naked, or do we go Michael Wilson and start an Arizona thing? Like I don't know if you like a quarterback there. You got.
I think. No, I like building out stacks like with the quarterback first, even because a lot of people are focused on what's going to happen. So I think May is the pick. Like
who?
May. I'm fine with May if you want.
Oh, May.
Or Will. Sorry. Did we go May? Now, so the one thing
we went May, and I think it was the right choice just because we fell out on Hurts, we fell out on Caleb. Achan's got a late stack opportunity. Marv's got a late stack opportunity. Monty's got a late stack opportunity, and we got Puka, Stafford. So we still have outs, but like we probably want 3 quarterbacks. I don't know. Are you a 3? That's another thing I got to ask you. Are you a 3 quarterback guy?
Yeah, especially with the announcement that Kyler Murray got the job and stuff. I think Kyler's going to rise up boards real fast. So that was like one of my guilty pleasures was like always taking Kyler Murray. Yeah, because he was. I think if you were to go sort my quarterbacks real quick, I can pull it up too on my end. But I had Kyler. Where was he? He was going real late for me when I was drafting. God, where's his rank now?
Well, he's officially the starter, Rubio. So
Yeah.
he's like 119 ADP.
Yeah. Okay. Because I think I had him at like what below. I thought I drafted him like the 150s like a week ago or so. I got to check this, but I want to check that real quick. But it was one of those things where I kept drafting Kyler, and I would always have like someone in the first like 100 picks. I'd always draft quarterback. Then like late on, like I had Burrow, Kyler, and Kirk Cousins. I just did that. I've been drafting 3 quarterbacks, and I'm going through these drafts quite a bit here at JSU.
Yeah, me too. Here's a question here. Could Keaton Missile be this year's Raheem Mostert? McDaniel specifically wanted him. Loves using 2 running backs. Mitchell, 6+ yards per carry. Speed seems perfect. Fit the system. Why are we not fading Hampton? Question mark. I'll tell you right now, on DraftKings, I have very little Amari and Hampton. I think I have like 2% Amari and Hampton. So I am right now, I think he's a better pick on the half point sites or the non PPR sites because I do think he's going to get goal line looks. But I'm with you. Keaton Mitchell and Luther Burden are my 2 highest owned guys drafted. I think Keaton fits the system perfectly. The scheme, right? The outside zone stuff. Keaton Mitchell, and I know it was a small sample, but there's more than just the speed that goes into why Mike McDaniels loved Keaton Mitchell. He was really good on those outside zone runs. He was one of the better running backs when you looked at it. Again, small sample size, but when you look at those type of touches, he was one of the better running backs in those type of so Keaton does fit the scheme. He does notoriously like to use 2 running backs if he can, Rubio. There's some circumstances where maybe you can say he can't for whatever reason. He doesn't trust the rookie like Ollie Gordon behind him. But I don't know. I don't think that's it. I think he's gonna trust whoever, whether it's Kamani, who's the 2, or Keaton. Like if someone gets hurt, I think he's gonna trust all 3 of these guys.
Yeah, I think Keaton's role will be pretty defined, and he's a guy who, even at ECU and stuff, I'm pretty sure he was converted from wide receiver. He's just one of the best receiving backs. I'm just trying to remember, but he got hurt on, what was it, like a Monday night game against like Jacksonville when he was going off. Tore his ACL, and it kind of reset his career a little bit. But it was a late draft pick, but man, he's got wheels. He's got upside on any given week. Like
we're back up here, Rubio. Blake Corum, Matthew Stafford, Jaden Reed, Rico Dowd. I mean, I think these are. Do you like any of those guys?
Yeah, so I kind of like buying on Corum, but I think the price is a little high.
I love Corum.
If we go Corum, let's do Corum. And maybe we can snake Stafford on the way back, get a little Rams there, and that gives us 2 steady quarterbacks up top, and then we can look for.
So I think we just got to fade the Adams drafter here. I wish I saw that first. We would have went Stafford. I didn't realize the Adams drafter was at the turn here.
I think that's. Oh, I forgot to say that Devontae Adams is one of the worst picks this year. I think he's.
Dude,
he was
what's
a
funny
touchdown
is,
person.
what's funny is I have Devontae Adams really low, so we actually agree on that.
I think he really faded last year, and I think a lot of people kind of saw like, oh man, Devontae Adams leading the league in touchdowns and stuff, and then you kind of look at it, it's like, I understand it's best ball, but touchdowns are like one of the things that don't really carry over week to week every single time, right? Like, Trey McBride, what was it? Like absolutely horrific. But there were several games last year where Devontae Adams was like not even a part of the game plan, it felt.
Our guy 1 of 1. He's been waiting for the Rubio return right there.
Yeah.
I missed this question here. Would you guys trade Burden for Monty if your running backs after Cook, CMC are Brooks, Monungai, Mason, Sharbs? Kind of need 3 running backs, 10-man league.
I think your running backs are good there.
I kind of like your running backs. I get what you're doing though. That's you trade for Monty and you got a running back you never have to take out. You can start Cook, CMC, Monty every week and be really happy about it. I personally wouldn't because I'm so high on Luther Burden. But if you want to upgrade your running backs, then I think it makes some sense. Maybe try and get a receiver and give up one of like these late running backs like Mason, just to get something else. But yeah, he definitely is I think even a better season long bet, Monty, because just the consistency you want a little more of. But
especially on that too, like if you were to say that one of those guys, like in that group of like 5 he listed, I think one of those guys could be a top 15 running back easily.
Oh my God, Stafford just went. We almost got Stafford here. Unbelievable.
Was it the same guy who went fucking?
No. I think it was a different guy. This guy has Lamar. He went Stafford naked. What the heck? Unbelievable.
I'm hurt. All right. JSU.
101. We got Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, Wan'Dale Robinson, Michael Pittman, Jared Goff, Matthew Golden. Do you like any of these guys?
I like Addison. For
Addison, okay.
I kind of really like him because I think he'll have multiple weeks. I'll stake a claim here for you. Multiple 30-point weeks this year from Jordan Addison.
I knew I was going to get to a point where I really didn't like a pick, and I will just go in on Kyler Murray is the worst quarterback for Jordan Addison. Like if you
know what, that's not a bad point.
Of everybody on the team, Kyler Murray and Jordan Addison, it's like I love Jordan Addison. He is my preferred receiver to smash on that team. I root for him. He's won me a lot of money in DFS. I'm a big Jordan Addison guy. He can have the big games that like you're thinking in your head. My issue is with Jawan Jennings there, Justin Jefferson. Like Justin Jefferson is the intermediate like king. Like that's his bread and butter. Jawan Jennings is a bigger type of receiver. Man, I think Jordan Addison's going to be running clear out shit all year and not getting fed for it at all. That's my worry about Jordan Addison. But yeah,
so, it's fair because like if you were, I think Marvin Harrison's a much better player than like Addison and stuff, but it does make sense in that with that take, I kind of get it a little bit. But I just think that his big play upside, it's similar to, and this might even sound crazier as a Bengals fan, even, but he's definitely not as good as T. Higgins. But I think he'll have T. Higgins like spike weeks a lot. I think this Vikings offense is a buy, even with Kyler Murray. I don't know. I think Kevin O'Connell, like he made a lot of work with Darnold. I know Darnold ended up being great with the Seahawks too and stuff, but like I actually think he's a quarterback whisperer, and I thought JJ McCarthy was absolutely dog shit as an Ohio State fan too. Coming out of college.
I'm going to say something. It might be a little controversial, but can we all admit that even though JJ McCarthy was the worst quarterback ever last year, Justin Jefferson kind of had a midseason.
He did.
Even with all that, there were some plays that Justin Jefferson normally makes, and he dropped a few passes where I'm like, come on, man. Like you gotta help your young quarterback when he actually hits your hands with the football a couple of times. And it was probably more like the consistency, right? He was so bummed it wasn't like a consistent thing when he'd actually get a like catchable pass. He wasn't in the flow. We're up at 116 here. I did forget that guy does have Kyron, so that's why he took Stafford. Dalton Kincaid's at the top of the kick. We got Matthew Golden still here, has been getting buzzed. Kyle Monungai's still on the board.
I'll defer to you here, JSU. I don't really got anything. If we had Hurts, I would love Goddard, but yeah, I don't really got anything here for you that's too crazy.
Let's go with Golden.
How many wide receivers does that put us at? 7?
So that puts us at 6 right there.
6. Okay, cool.
I'm just not a Dalton Kincaid. I'm so now there are smart, sharp people out there that love Dalton Kincaid. I worry about the role. I just worry about his role. That they don't need him to run all the routes. That's the problem with this Bills offense. They're so good at what they do best, which is running the football, and then Josh Allen creating with his legs. And like you said, spreading it around. They can play Dawson Knox. They can play Spencer Haas. They can play whatever random tight end they have. They can play all these receivers because it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you have Josh Allen, you have a really good offensive line, and you have James Cook. So you can work everything through that. And all these other guys can just play like 50, 60%. You don't have to burn them out, especially someone like Dalton Kincaid, who they've been managing. Why would they give them the full role? It works. They win games, Rubio. Like maybe in the playoffs, they should bump the role a little bit, so they can actually win some big playoff games. But I don't know. Like maybe I'm wrong, Rubio. Maybe I'm wrong, and Dalton Kincaid is the right pick there. But I don't buy it.
There's a lot of good tight ends this year. I don't think you need to reach on Kincaid. Not that it was a reach or anything. I like him for
It was
props and
past
stuff.
ADP, like 7 picks.
Yeah, his DK prop, I can already see it in week 1. I didn't even check, but I bet it's 44.5 yards, and I bet he's plus 200 for a touchdown. And if you want that as your main tight end, you can have it. Like I'd rather take a risk on several guys who. Like you have Fannin kind of going in that range. I think Fannin's one of the best floor picks this year, just on like a tight end kind of route, where I'd rather have Fannin 10 times out of 10 over a guy like Kincaid and stuff, where there just feels like there might be more in the tank with those type of guys where, it wouldn't shock you if here's another take for it. I think Fannin has, 5 games where he catches 9 or more balls this year as a tight end. I think he could be just an absolute target hog in Cleveland.
Yeah, I could see that. My only issue is Deshaun Watson. That's it. That's all I got.
They didn't have anything better last year, and he still produced sometimes.
Oh, I don't know, man. We're up now. Dallas Goedert's still here. We could,
I know. Yeah.
We could just do like the pairing with Devontae. And
I'm completely okay with that, especially when we have a guy like Drake May who can get it done naked with his legs and stuff, and we still get like that Philly stack where I'm okay doing it. I don't think it's a must that you have to like completely stack up your type of guys where, with your quarterback. I think you can do this where it's like a naked stack. I'm fine with that.
All right. So let's do that. And then
we're buying the AJ Brown boost these guys hella bump. And I love that. I think that's one of my favorite moves. And I did want to respond to this too, just because it is definitely a take about Devontae Adams. 14 touchdowns. I know he scored the touchdowns, right? He 100% did that. If you take 6 of those touchdowns away, he finishes like outside like the wide receiver 30 for what it's worth. And 8 touchdowns is still a damn good year. I know that he scored those, but it just shows you how fine of a line it is. When you only put up less than 800 yards and you're going inside the first 2 rounds, it's tough to justify unless you keep scoring, which Matthew Stafford is honestly top 3 in the league. That's for sure.
Oh, no. Yeah. Matthew Stafford is top, especially really where they kind of ate, right? Which was the goal line. Like the goal line, literally, those guys ate. And I bring this point up all the time. You say there was kind of a fall off point. I do think like getting injured, getting banged up, and coming back probably was where the fall off started to happen a little bit. But also, I'm telling you, like Seattle started this little trend of playing that goal line defense differently because they trusted their D line to hold up in the run game. So they were bringing like a safety down and jamming him with a corner and a safety, which I don't know if a lot of teams can do, but it'd be interesting if some other teams copied that shit because they did that late in the year to the Rams with Devontae Adams. And I thought it was really interesting. I'm like, man, who are the receivers that actually got that treatment? There's not many receivers. It's like Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson. Those are the guys off the top of my head I can remember get that treatment at any point.
It's one of those things where I just think it's so unique how they kind of approach the goal line because it felt like every 1 yard damn slant went to him, and you have Kyron on your fantasy team. I get Kyron and London are 2 guys that I kind of forget were on that big hit that I had, and I kind of forgot that Kyron was like, it was kind of one of those guys who I needed.
Oh God! So Jonah Coleman just went. Oh, Malik Willis goes. We cannot have nice things in this draft. We literally can't. Here, CJ Stroud. Do we need to reach for a quarterback, or do we take the best player?
Is Kyler off the board?
Yeah. It's CJ, Sam Darnold. We got to get a quarterback, I think.
Let's get a quarterback, yeah. I think Yeah, I'm down for CJ. I think he has a big year. The Ohio State glazer in me is going to say that, but genuinely, CJ Stroud is too good to be this bad. There just becomes a point in time where the buck meets the road. I just think it's going to be this year. I think Stroud, coming off that rookie year, he had a lot of high expectations, and things haven't gone smoothly over the last couple seasons. But I think this year is the ultimate get right year. And honestly, you just kind of look at it, that division's really wide open and stuff. I just think Houston has a chance to take care of business. I'm kind of curious. What do you think about Indianapolis this year?
So I think CJ Stroud, David Montgomery, the guy who I think he helps the most is actually CJ Stroud, because I think he's going to make the play action pass downfield a little bit more like believable, to where like CJ's going to have a little more time with the defense, because they got to actually worry about not Woody Marks back there all the time, and actually someone who's decent at running back, and somewhat of a threat in David Montgomery, as opposed to Woody Marks. So I actually think it's going to help him. So I don't hate the CJ take. What sucks about CJ and Sam Darnold in these guys is they have such a good defense to lean on. The coaches can just tell them like, hey, all you have to do is manage. Just don't fuck it up. Like, you don't have to go out there and throw for 300 yards and 3 TDs every game, unless you're playing the Rams, unless you're playing the Chargers, unless you're playing like the top tier offenses. You never will have to go out there and throw for the big fantasy games. So they're just going to manage those guys, which kind of sucks. You need them to be pushed a little more. But to Indianapolis, like, I think the offense is going to be a great fantasy target. I don't know how good they're going to be as a team, but the offense is so condensed. Like, it's such a good target for fantasy.
Yeah, no, I love it. I really do. Oof. Yeah, we're not taking Woody Marks. I can tell you that. That dude is made of glass on the field.
No.
Oh God. Do
we could take a Tank Bigsby, a Tyler Algier. We could go with another quarter.
I love Algier.
Ooh, okay. Why do you like Algier? Because he kind of fits the squad.
So my thing on Algier, and I think this kind of goes for Bigsby. I think that it's fair if you want to go either one of those guys.
No,
right?
we'll go Algier, because I kind of like it a little bit. I got 10%, so I'm over the field, but I got a decent amount of a Tank too, and it's I'm not a Jeremiah Love drafter, Rubio, which I feel like he's one of those like controversial, like, you're either in or you're out. Are you in on, second, third? Sometimes he falls to the fourth, but more of like a third round pick now guy in Jeremiah Love? Or are you leaning into like, no, Tyler Algier's there, it's not a good offense, like, why am I doing this?
The clear thing is that we also have, Marvin Harrison and stuff. So, we kind of get a little bit of these mini stacks coming, right? But also I think Love's awesome, right? I think he's going to be great. However, there is a role for guys who are going past pick like 140 for me. Like Woody Marks, we already saw him in a full role. He sucks. All right, he's going to get hurt. He's going to leave the game with an injury at least once a game, and it won't even be serious, right? But you have to look at it this way. And I know James Conner could kind of murky this water, so it can kind of be a little bit. But do they have a path to being the alpha in the room with an injury? And the answer with Algier is yes. And do they have a role already? And the answer is probably going to be yes. It's probably going to be the same exact role that he was with Atlanta, right? Where, if you can give him 10 touches a game, that's enough to be a guy who can fill 12, 14 fantasy points on those weeks where if he scores, right? Let's say he gets 50 yards rushing, 1 catch and a touchdown. You're just sitting there thinking, great, we had A-Chain on a bye week. That was perfect for us. We had Monty on a bye week. That was perfect for us. We're not trying to find the hero here, but he can be. He can be that guy if Love were to get hurt or if Love were to get banged up. But we get someone with a consistent role in this range who, in my opinion, is way better than Marks, way better than Pacheco. And Bigsby won't have that role with Saquon, right? So that's kind of the difference between these two guys. Do I think Tank is a good pick? Yes, because same thing, JSU. When you're drafting late and you're picking all these different running backs, you're doing probably 500 drafts this year knowing you, right?
More.
1,000 drafts knowing you.
Close.
You want to have exposure to the guys who can lead the running back room, especially past pick 150. And do they have a path there? Like Tank Bigsby, 100%. Pacheco, I don't know. That dude's washed. But
Oh
Willie Marks,
no,
that dude sucks.
bro, listen. So Pacheco, I have 0% of Pacheco, and then I'm on with my guy John Daigle a week or two ago, and we're doing the 5-5-5, and we had this Lions Bears thing all laid out, and they have the week 17 stuff, and he's like, we got to go Pacheco, man. It was like a little after ADP. He's like, we needed a running back, and I'm like, oh, fine, John. Just because I love you, John, we'll go with Pacheco. So that's my one Pacheco share. We are up on the clock.
I love how it's recommending Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter is here. Omar Cooper Jr. What do you want to do? Tight end.
What do you think about Sharps?
Jaden Blue. Sharps? Yeah. Screw it. We can go Sharps.
I think his ADP is okay. Injuries scare me, right? We get that. But this is a guy who is already well ahead of schedule, right? What if he's fully back to being himself by week 8? Then this pick is more than worth it. What if he's back by to himself, a few weeks before the playoffs? We already have enough running backs here. We already have really good wide receivers too. I love this wide receiver room, right? Where all of a sudden Charbonnet, where would you place him if he was healthy on this board? I know that's a really big.
Where would I place him?
Yeah.
Oh, he'd be up here. He'd be up in
Jalen Warren too, and probably above. Yeah, in that Montgomery range for sure.
Wouldn't Jadarian Price and his price kind of fall back? So I think it'd be more like what it would be like. It would be like a Chuba Hubbard, Jonathan Brooks situation. That's what it would be. Where like one guy is in like the mid 80s. And the other guy is like in the 90s or the 100s.
Well, so Price got picked 66 here, all right? I get it.
Say it's a bad pick. Say it's a bad pick.
He was a number 2 at running back at Notre Dame. I know he was great there, but come on, man, what were we doing? He was a backup last year. I know he was damn good. He did really well in the fourth quarter.
No. Rubio, you got to remember, in practice, he's untouchable. He's untouchable. He's literally untouchable in practice. He 66. Can't do anything wrong.
For the same role we got Algier at. No. Okay. But Price does have 6 to 8 weeks.
I'm with you though. I need to click Sharps a little bit more because you're right. Like especially if I have like 4 running backs that are decent and can get me over the hump. I just told you 3 running backs got a guy to $2 million.
Yeah.
So we know that you don't need to have 7 running backs. Like, why aren't we clicking Sharps? Like you said, we need them for the back end.
Exactly.
Draft them for the back end. We need that anyways. I like it. And I'm not a Pierce or Price drafter. So Marshawn Lloyd goes. He's pumping up draft boards right now. The kick saying we need tight ends.
Yeah, I'm a 3 tight end guy.
Are you a T Ferg, AJ Barner, Dalton Schultz? Who are you here?
I think Schultz is safe because of the Stroud pick, right?
So are we going Schultz?
Yeah, I like Schultz. Look,
do Schultz.
On any given week, do I like him? Not really. But at the same time, he correlates really well with our draft.
Dude, you got to give me confidence when you tell me to take Dalton Schultz.
I think he was the right pick there 100%. He gives us a stack with a quarterback that we don't have yet. We didn't have any tight end or wide receiver with our quarterback yet. And
don't be nice to him. He made me take Dalton Schultz over Terrence Ferguson. Don't be nice to him.
I need your Tank Dell take, real quick. Actually, I know that he might get taken, but I do like Tank Dell. Do you think he comes back healthy? Like, what do you think that situation is?
So I do think that one, I don't think we're going to get 100% Tank Dell. Also, I don't think you need 100% Tank Dell. Like that injury was so bad. It'd be foolish of us to expect Tank Dell to look as good as he did pre the injury, right, Rubio? But even like 80% of what Tank Dell was doing pre-injury is probably really good in this range. So I'm a Tank Dell drafter. You can see I got, what's that, like 16%?
Yeah, I forget. I can check your percentages there. That's actually awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, the kick has some really good features. You can check them out over at Legendary Upside if you're into drafting a bunch of teams. The sidekick definitely helps.
You're not much of a Hawk guy, huh?
I am not a Hawk guy.
2%. I love it. I can see that now. That is
Where do
awesome.
I have Hawk ranked? I have him ranked so low. He's like not even he's like an afterthought in my
I want to say I caught a show of you talking about, was it Raritan that you were talking about a little bit?
Yeah. I the Patriots have been, obviously I'm in this area, and
Yeah.
he's been getting a ton of buzz, like a ton of buzz. And I know they like to play the two tight ends at times. They
Yeah.
like to run out of it, and they like to throw it. They got Hunter Henry now. I think Eli Raritan, fits, and I think he's going to play like a decent enough role where, as a last pick tight end, you can make the case on a good team he kind of fits. How many times did Austin Hooper like randomly have like a decent game, and you're like, you don't need a ton from these guys. We keep talking about it. Everyone wants to find guys that like are going to give them like 25. Like, honestly, Raritan, get me like 12 a couple games. Like, that's it. Like, you don't have to get me friggin' 30.
Well,
Give
the
me
big thing, like you mentioned, is like, what if you got 18 in the playoff week, right? Where no one's clicking his name either. He'd be unowned. What
unowned.
was it? Juwan Johnson was the one who really produced. I think Chigo Okonkwo one year produced like really high, where it just
Yep.
tight ends can get you through, especially in those in rooms where you probably have a lot of the same guys at that point. You probably have like 4 or 5 of the same studs. So getting those guys who aren't studs, who are really different on the back end, especially at like a position like that. That's why I love 3 tight ends, because I think it can kind of differentiate you a little bit, especially if you're not drafting one of the first 100 picks.
Yeah, we're almost up here. It'll be interesting to see what kind of falls to us here with Pacheco banged up. Coach Seb was talking about maybe someone else being a decent pick here. If he's really banged up, I wouldn't be shocked if the Lions traded for a vet. Or
Yeah.
signed a vet or something like that. I mean, maybe it's like a Sione Vaca or whatever his name is. However you say his name.
Vaki.
Vaki.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's a preseason stud.
I mean, Pacheco's not good, so I don't think he needs to be that good, obviously. Tank Dell does fall to us. I assume you want to snag him.
Yeah, I do. I think it's good to get the next wide receiver. I know Ray Davis. I want to know how much Ray Davis you got. I can't wait to see him pop up here.
I've been trying to click him a little bit because I
you
started
were a Ray
out,
Davis guy last year. I know that.
I am.
was too.
You know what I'm not as much this year though, Rubio. I'm not as much of a late RB drafter. Like
Okay.
I'm not. So one thing there's a couple late RBs that I buy on. Ray Davis is one of them. I'll buy on
Katron
him.
Allen there. I love Katron.
Katron Allen, Nick Singleton.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there real quick. Nick Singleton sucks. All right, absolutely dog shit at the position. All right,
wait, hold on. Nick Singleton has to beat out Tajay Spears, who never stays healthy, and Tony Pollard, who at some point they're gonna stop just jamming him up the middle for 2-3 yards. Like, when is it gonna end, Rubio? When is it gonna end in Tennessee?
I'd rather have a paraplegic run the football rather than Nick Singleton. He was that garbage at Penn State. All right, he was terrible.
All right,
the best part was
we're up here. The kick saying tight end. We don't have to. Ray Davis is here. We could just take Ray.
Do we have another wide receiver potentially that could be
Ted Hurst, Keenan Allen, Caleb Douglas?
I'm going to defer to you here. I mean, I'm cool with whoever you go with. I like Ray Davis. It'll give us 6 RBs, so we definitely won't draft another, right?
So the only reason I went Ray Davis there is we do have Achane, so it kind of like pairs up.
That's how bad he is. He's number 3.
Damn it. Listen, Holiday, you leave him alone, okay? I got a little bit of Nick Singleton. We need something.
So I figured this out like mid-college football season where like Nick Singleton was always like, oh, he's going to split with Katron. And then Penn State had this galaxy brain idea like week 5 or week 6. Just give Katron Allen the ball more. And they just took off.
Hey, that's another situation though. Like buy on these situations where they're thin. Like I know you said Nick Singleton sucks, but you can't tell me that that's not a thin running back room and they're going to be bad. So like at the end of the year, Nick Singleton might not play all year, right? But then like week 16, they're completely out of the playoffs, Rubio, and you're in.
Right.
And
He's
Nick
going to get out there,
Nick
17 carries, 42
yeah.
yards.
Yeah, and maybe he gets in the box once. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like give me something here. But no, that's kind of the way I look at Nick Singleton, and it's the same way I look at Katron. And you could tell me you like Katron more, and I'm like,
I
okay,
love
that's fine. I totally get it. But the reason we're drafting them is kind of the same. They go at the end. I think they have a chance to play late. What's his nickname? Fat Man or whatever? I mean, you can't tell me that's not an amazing nickname. I mean, come on.
It's funny too, because like you look at Braylon Allen fits the same bill that you're talking about. I think Braylon Allen's really good. Like
We
kind
don't
of
need another running back though. We have 6.
I'm talking about he just went in that same range, right? Like we're good on running backs for sure.
Now, do you want to go with a third quarterback? Because right now we have 2. We have a 2-6-7-2 build. We definitely need one more tight end at some point. I think maybe one more wideout. And I don't know what your thoughts are on Keenan Allen, Caleb Douglas, Brennan Thompson's another one of my late guys. Who else?
I think with Thompson, there's just too many mouths to feed there.
I know, but he's so fun, Rubio.
He is fun.
So,
was he
so fun.
God, which college did he go to? I'm blanking on. It wasn't Okie State, was it? Yeah, I gotta check this. It's gonna frustrate me because he was a guy that we played a lot of in
shit. I don't. What was it? Okie State? No, I don't.
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
That does not feel like I remember him there.
Are you
Oklahoma for Texas, Oklahoma, and then Mississippi State? I do remember the Mississippi State.
Are you a Keenan Allen drafter right now? Are you buying Keenan Allen plays in 2026?
He'll play in 2026. Does he play for New England?
No, but
no.
Yeah. If he plays, I think he's a good pick at 200. Well, unless you want to go Aaron Rodgers naked.
No.
We compare him with Darnell Washington.
Oh yes, you got me. You got me there.
Okay.
You got me there. You talking my language there. Well,
all right. So let me
either go Raridon or Darnell to pair with May. I think May. So
Jeremy Bernard's here too. I didn't even realize if you.
I actually really like Jeremy Bernard.
You do? Oh God. Okay.
So I thought one of the worst picks of the entire NFL draft was Ty Simpson. He's dog shit in the game.
No, he wasn't one of the worst picks. He was the worst pick I've ever seen in my life. Okay. For the Rams, like, I don't even care about the quarterback. If you want a backup quarterback, fine. The Rams are the Super Bowl favorite that was like one or two plays away from winning this, like going to the Super Bowl. But if they went, they would have won. It would have been the same like result. They would have beat the Patriots. You don't take Ty Simpson if Matthew Stafford is. I'm sorry, you don't do that. It's a terrible pick.
1,000% there.
And you know what you do, Rubio? You know what you do? You package both your first round picks. Go up and get the best player in the draft that you want. Go get a Caleb Downs. Go get jump a bunch of teams and go trade with Arizona. Arizona could have traded down. Like, do something to get the player you want.
I 1,000% agree. We're so much on the same page there. And look,
we're up. So continue that thought 1 second here. Jeremy Bernard's here and Darnold Washington. Which one do you want first?
Let's go Jeremy, because I think Darnell will be there as late as we want him. And if we don't get Darnell, you know who we go? We go Raridon, right?
So I like that. So that gives us 2. Yeah. And if we get sniped, we get sniped. There's still some shitty tight ends we can take at that point. But we'll go Washington. If Washington's gone, we'll go Raridon. And
I just don't get how people in general were really buzzing about Ty Simpson and these draft prospects. It's the same thing with JJ McCarthy. You watch the JJ McCarthy stuff with Michigan, and you're like, man, they won in spite of JJ McCarthy, and they're talking about him being the best quarterback in the draft. What the hell? All right, and then all of a sudden you see it with Ty Simpson. Oh, he didn't have an O-line. Well, he had 3 drafted in the first round in the O-line. He had Ryan Williams. He had Jeremy Bernard. What didn't he have? He didn't have a running game. Oh, great. The quarterback didn't have a running game at Alabama. Oh, he didn't have an offensive line. They make excuses for him every time. Oh, great. That's what they do with these young quarterbacks nowadays. That's why Carson Beck, at the ripe age of 24, about to be 25, comes in and actually steps in and does well in the NFL because, at the same time, no one was making excuses for him because they just all assumed he sucked. But honestly, Carson Beck has never been as good as
Okay,
Ty
hold on.
Simpson.
I gotta push back on the Carson Beck. I mean, come on, it's the Hall of Fame game. Okay, can I see Carson Beck?
I meant in comparison to Simpson. All right, like in comparison, I think Beck and Simpson are
the
the same.
defenders he was throwing the football against Rubio are going to be working in a car place. Okay, they're going to be selling insurance and selling cars and whatever. They're not going to be playing football. So can we at least see him against like real football talent before we do that?
I just mean in the same sense of like Ty Simpson. I don't think Ty Simpson's even on the same.
Would you draft Carson Beck? Like obviously fantasy and just a good football player are two different things. Would you draft him?
No, because they got Minshew, I think, is number 2 there. I think
it would
take a lot.
I disagree.
You think Minshew is the number 3 there?
I think Carson Beck plays the last 4 weeks of the season. I think it's all
it could be more than that. It could be. I think the way Brissett handled his contract negotiation, I bet you can only assume and stuff. If you're already going to be a bad team, you got a big role last year. I bet it soured a few people. Like, what the hell? Like,
you have you seen their schedule?
Oh, it is. I mean, when you play in the NFC West, you're gonna get dog.
It's brutal, bro. But listen to these last 4 games. Ready for this? Right, the last 4 games of the season: Jets at home against the Jets, at the Saints, at home against the Raiders, at home against the 49ers.
That's unreal,
bro. Tell me that's not Carson Beck playing in those 4 games.
Yeah, that's whoever they want to pump the draft capital on, the trade capital on, they play him in those 4 there, baby.
3 of those games are at home, and 3 of those games are to probably below 500 teams, and then a 49ers team that by week 18 could be throwing out you as a wide receiver, Rubio, with how fast you are. I mean, that's how bad it could be for San Francisco.
I gotta admit, I got beat in a race by someone who hasn't beaten me in a race in a long time. I'm washed, ASU. I'm slower than Tyreek Hill.
I'm washed. Esco, yes, we're definitely gonna rip another one for sure here. All right, we are up, and I mean, Kicks is Raritan, but Washington. I think we lean into the Rodgers thing, right?
Yeah.
Or do you want Raritan?
No. I think Darnell's a really unique fantasy asset this year.
Yeah. You like that he lost 15 pounds.
Well, so I made fun of you drafting him as rookie year, and I think he didn't have any catches, right? He had like what I think 6.
Hey! What did you do last year?
That's what I mean. I'm getting there. And then last year he was very, very viable, right? Like, and I remember specifically against the Bengals where he caught a touchdown and stuff. But I cannot believe this. Wasn't he the first touchdown scorer in that game? I got to check this,
bro. They had Pat Fryer who scored in that game too. I think they both. Yeah,
it was Jonnu Smith.
Dude, they all scored touchdowns in that game?
Jonnu Smith had 1, Fryer 2, and Darnell had 1. That's what it was.
The only reason why I remembered is because I did like the all tight end parlay in that game, and it hit for like 15K or something like that.
That's unreal.
I put like $100 on it and won 15K on an all tight end parlay. It was amazing.
Unreal. I mean, it's funny. Like, and Darnell really became 31 catches last year is not in the scoff at, especially at a guy his size and a red zone threat. The fact he only had 1 last year is wild to me. I think
he's
that's
gonna have more. He's gonna have more. No Johnny this year.
I'll set a number here, a bold take number. 7 touchdowns for Darnell.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say 6, but I like it. I'll take an.
I was actually about to say 6 too, and then I pivoted to 7.
You wanted another one. You got greedy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Well, here's the team here. We got a 3-6-8-3 build on DraftKings out of the 5 spot. Puka Nacua, Devon Achane, Devontae Smith, Luther Burden III, David Montgomery, Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake May, Blake Corum, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, Dallas Goedert, CJ Stroud, Tyler Algier, Zach Charbonnet, Dalton Schultz, Tank Dell, Ray Davis, Aaron Rodgers, Jeremy Bernard, and Darnell. Big boy Washington there.
Very balanced team. A lot of people might poke fun at naked Drake May, but I think he's actually one of the top 5 guys you can run naked. Like, I think it would go Lamar.
I would test people at pick 78 to fade Drake May when you don't have a quarterback. I don't know.
Well, you just go through it. I mean, what, 450 yards on the ground last year and 4 touchdowns? I blindly, I would say that ranks in the top 5 at the quarterback position there.
And that's with shitty receivers. Now he's
Yeah,
got like way better receivers. He's going to have way more space, I think, to run the football when stuff's not there. And I think he's one of those quarterbacks. He's a smart quarterback too.
yes, yes.
He's gonna take his 10 yards and he's gonna get down or get out of bounds or something like that. So you don't have to worry about taking unnecessary beatings and stuff like that. He's gonna have it's gonna be like how Mahomes would just like scramble and was smart enough to like knew exactly when to get out and stuff like that and played the line really well, like toe tapping the line and stuff like, but it was easy. He just knew like, oh, nothing's there. Okay, I'll just take my first down.
Yeah.
You know, like Drake May's going to do the same stuff. He's going to get some easy touchdowns too, doing things like that when stuff's not there. But yeah, I mean, we definitely got sniped a few times. I think.
The Jalen Hurts one. If we could have had that, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been. I would have really liked the Hurts pick there. Maybe just reaching for our quarterback was our main mistake, not doing it, going Marv there. But it is what it is. You know, you win some, you lose some. Let's see. What if Brissett gets hurt early and he plays all year? I don't think in this case, I don't think he will play all year. I think in this case, if he gets hurt, I think Minshew plays first. And I think Beck would be third coming in. But I think if Brissett plays like the first like 13 or 14 weeks and they have a late bye, right? It's like week 14, I think, right?
I just don't believe how the NFL is still having just one bye week for this long ass season, especially with the talk of adding another game. It's just ridiculous.
It's literally crazy. It's week 14 though, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
so,
I think you're right. Yeah.
So this is another reason why I think Carson Beck starts week 15. It's just like it sets up perfectly. But if Brissett gets hurt earlier in the season, I think Minshew gets the nod. The vet, they'll play it that way. They'll give Beck more time to learn and stuff like that. And then week 14 or 15, he'll be in there. So that's just my take here. But let's get into another one, Rubio. $25 on DraftKings. If you guys want to draft with us, I'm pulling it up on my phone right now. On DraftKings, $3 million to first. The big flagship contest over here. All right, so I'll give everyone a second if they want to whip their phone out, and we'll get this thing going here. All right, here we go. So I'm jumping in here in 3, 2, 1. If you want to draft, click it in right now.
So you mentioned it. So when talking about like Charbs and Dell, it's like
we are 1 of 12. I somehow have the best.
That's unreal.
I literally must have the best click of all times because that's the second time I've gotten 1 of 12 doing this shit with you guys. So if you guys had your phone out, there's no way you're not in this draft right now.
That's good stuff.
There we go. You were speaking and I interrupted.
You're fine. I just think like when talking about like Dell and Charbs and stuff, like you had multiple guys last year on the winner, right, who were non-factors. So it's like, and we're okay if Dell and Charbs don't produce for the first 8 to 9 weeks. I mean, like who's really going to produce in their stead, right? Like, what I think we picked, Pacheco as someone who went after him. Kamara was someone who went after him. I think Kamara could have a shout at being a little bit fantasy relevant, but like they're not going to be fantasy relevant right away. And, if you're trying to fluke 10 to 12 points, that's fine. But Charbs is a guy where what if he heals better than you thought, right? What if Dell heals better than you thought, where all of a sudden, not to say that they're going back to their old selves because both injuries were pretty serious, but I just feel like they have a chance of, getting you 18 to 20 on a spike week when it matters a lot more than a Pacheco who, doesn't have that same upside where even if Gibbs got hurt, I don't think Pacheco's your answer in Detroit either.
Yeah, I agree. I see something in the chat about, oh my God, McCaffrey, question mark. Red, you going to leave us hanging? I got to type in Christian McCaffrey in the old X app and see what pops up here. I guess I will. Christian McCaffrey. What is the news? I don't see anything.
The first thing that popped up was he got zapped by the electrical substation. No.
I don't see anything, Red. Don't leave us hanging. We did talk about the Puka thing. I wouldn't be shocked if he got suspended. Unfortunately, I think he has a better chance of getting suspended than Josh Jacobs. Just kind of
You got the 1-1?
Yeah, we got the 1-1. That's how we roll. Yeah, he's fine. Bro, the Christian McCaffrey stuff, it's all maintenance. It's all like they can say lower body stiff. This is what the 49ers, it's Christian McCaffrey. The guy handles like 5 billion touches a year. He's had big injuries. They can't lose him. They know that. Like, are you Gibbs or Bijan? One. Who are you?
Gibbs.
Yeah.
There's just so much.
I haven't vetoed you yet. If you said Bijan, I was going to veto you.
It's just, I don't think you can go wrong, but I think the path for
agree.
Gibbs to average 30 is really, like, not average 30, but like have 5 games of 30 plus this year is really high.
Let's
he can
be
get
honest.
10 catches in a game, and all of a sudden, like, he can do it if you're trailing or if he's not scoring. Like, there's more paths for him to get there than Bijan in that sense.
Bijan and Gibbs are both going to be good. I mean, like Tua and Michael Penix is Bijan's quarterback. Like Bijan's going to have to be really good if they're going to do anything really. So, and Tua and Penix, like they're both like pocket guys. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about them running. They're going to check down. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely, and Puka goes 5 again. So JSN jumps him in this draft. People are definitely starting to get a little nervous, Rubio, and I wouldn't be shocked if like the nerves brought him to the back end of the first round in some drafts here. So yeah, the McCaffrey report was tightness. That's it. Mark, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
This is the best type of draft for us too, JSU, because you're at the tail end of a round. You know, you get to kind of relax a little bit. You get to engage with the comments, and then you just focus for 2 picks, and you're back in. Like,
and then you can say, like, if a player really sucks after I say that I really like them, and you're just like, he sucks. He's terrible. Okay, in college, he was awful. Fat man beat him out. Okay,
I'm telling you, Nick Singleton is one of those guys where if he's good in the league, I will be shocked. I you know what? I no, I can't say that I would eat some dog shit like that one fan.
Bro, Alfred Morris had a big year in the league. Guys can just walk in and not be that great and find
Alfred Morris could have had one leg and been better than freaking Nick Singleton. He just, if you can't get it done against Purdue, I don't think you can get it done against
we've seen like 1 year wonders. Like it happens where like guys that aren't that great fall into like good spots. I'm not saying Tennessee's like a good spot, but
easy money is still. Oh God.
I'm taking Jacoby 112 and ruining this draft here. Oh yeah. What's do you have a take on the Jacoby Lane hype? I mean, the dude is just flying. He went 166 in our last draft. And I've had him ranked like 30 spots ahead of ADP for like a month now, Rubio. Because I'm just buying the Ravens guys, and I've talked about this on a bunch of shows, but like him and Surratt, I'm just like, give me them both. Like I'll take them both in some drafts. In some drafts, I'll just alternate and take one draft, one the other, because you know their depth at wide receiver is very thin. They didn't sign a vet, which I think is telling in itself that they believe that one of those rookies can play a role. Do you have a take?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who's their quarterback?
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm out. No. I will say this too. If Bateman
easy money just smashed his computer. He just smashed his computer.
It's one of those things where Hopkins had 22 catches last year, right? Bateman didn't really produce at an extremely high level. I still think Bateman's an okay wide receiver, just isn't really getting a huge target share. What's the path to, even if Surratt and Lane play a ton, like is there a path to 45 catches this year? And unless say Flowers gets banged up, I don't see it.
I think there is. I think the offense is going to be different than we've seen in years past. I think they're going to play more 11. I think getting rid of those tight ends was like a signal, like, hey, listen, and they really didn't replace them with any like
That's fair.
serious, replacements to have to. So like the fact that they drafted the 2 rookies tells me I think they want to lean into the run game more. And that's kind of, I'm sorry, the receiving game and playing receivers heavy more. I don't know. That's kind of my take on it. We're back up though. Turn here, Rubio. Who are you going with?
Oh man, you're gonna give me the wheel again. I'm shocked by that. I
Yes,
thought, you know.
give me it. I don't care who it is. Tell me. We don't. I know you don't like Rice, so he's out. Who do you like? I know you like Devontae. Don't make me start queuing guys.
Josh Allen.
Really?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do an early
Okay.
QB draft this time.
Okay.
Let's
Josh Allen. I got him. Now, who else do you want?
I'd feel like such a donkey on Devontae Smith back-to-back drafts. If you want to mix it up,
Do you
go with
like
another
Luka, Ladd, Olave, Nico Collins?
gut check Igbuka. Let's mix it up a little bit.
Oh,
I just think that with no Evans there, right? I think that the role for Igbuka could expand a little bit. I think it was a disappointing end of last year, right? You can say that it was very disappointing
yeah.
from Igbuka's standpoint. But he was so fiery that first 10, 12 weeks where you're just like, man, this guy just gets it done every single time. And I don't know what happened. I think the roles got a little bit murky. I think that they're actually going to have an identity this year with Egbuka being the lead guy in that room. I think Baker was hurt last year too. I don't know if you watched the quarterback thing on Netflix, but I think that this will be a good fresh start for Tampa Bay after blowing it last season. I mean, they biffed all over the place there late in the year.
But so one, I agree with you on Tampa from a fantasy standpoint. I think they're a buy just all around. I think they're a buy. I was lower on Ibuka to start the year, and I moved him up. He's someone I've gotten a little higher on towards the middle of the summer, and I've started to draft more and click more. So I'm with you. I like him. I like just buying on that offense. I think it's a good offense to buy. Like you said, Baker was hurt last year. There's a lot of things that you can use to sell yourself on a story like, okay, these guys make some sense. But man, like a division as a team, like I don't, the Bucks being the favorite in that division is kind of silly to me.
Yeah, it's. Are you buying on the Shuck, Tyler Shuck?
I would just bet like the Saints or the Panthers end up beating the Bucks.
The Panthers got it done in spite of Bryce Young, right? Like maybe they improved too.
But for fantasy, I would way rather the Bucks.
Yeah,
you know, like the Bucks, the Saints. I mean, the Panthers would literally be like kind of last, right? I guess in the or third at least, but it's a different conversation between like actual good teams and fantasy options here. But I agree with you. Baker makes a case to kind of buy in on. We do have Josh Allen too, which I don't hate going with like the stud tight end in my Gibbs or Bijan builds. I kind of like getting like a stud tight end and a stud quarterback in those type of builds because I already have my anchor running back that like I keep talking about. They're going to hold it down week in and week out for one of those spots. So I don't feel the need that I have to like load up on RB early.
I agree. And honestly, like, you know, I really kind of like this spot in the draft where, you know, if you were just doing a few drafts, I think like, you know, you want to diversify a lot, right? You don't want to just like rip the same players in a row, right? You do want to have, look, over the field, double the field of 16% of the guy, right? That's one thing that I try to get into the mindset for DFS, right? I think like you know, going 30% of a guy is fine, but then you start to creep into the 40s and 50s, and you're really narrowing your path to success, especially at the top end. So like, but if we were doing just a normal draft, I bet we would have gone Devontae Smith there, just, you know, one time thing, but trying to diversify that portfolio. So it's like, when we kind of get back to this end though, I really love the guys who we're going to have available here. Like I genuinely, like this is where, you know, if I were to pick a spot, I think the 1-1 this year is really nice. Last year, I didn't love it. I didn't like the 24, the 25 picks at all. This year, I think it lines up to be whatever you want. You know, you get your Gibbs, you can get whoever you want at, you know, tight end or, you know, quarterback. You can get a great wide receiver. Then you can get 2 more great wide receivers here in a second. Like A lot of lines up in the one pick this year.
The interesting part about, and this is another reason why I don't hate the Josh Allen pick, like everyone goes wide receiver at the 2-3 turn. Like everyone's, you know what I mean? Because there's like normally no good running backs by then. And I think a lot of people are like Josh Allen. So or a tight end, like a stud tight end if they fall. But people are starting to get a little lower on McBride. Brock Bowers isn't falling to the turn like he was in May. That's gone. So we're almost up. Scatterboo goes there. We're one pick away. Josh Jacobs is still on the board.
Hell no.
Byshell Tootin, David Montgomery, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Swift, J-Mo. We could do like a Swift J-Mo to go Bears and Lions.
I like that idea. I like that idea. I like J-Mo a lot. I do. I think J-Mo would be my first pick here. I like that.
Okay.
And I think
I mean, Monty, Swift, who would you go with?
You know, I do. I think a lot of people are like too low on Swift in the sense of like they think Monunga is going to have this like huge role, and I think it's up in the air. Like I think Swift could still be the alpha in the room. I think Swift. Like, look, it's one of those things too where I think a lot of people want to be early on like the next guy, right? And Swift is still the main guy there, and I look. I think Caleb Williams is an awful NFL quarterback, right? I genuinely do. But I think it's really hard to fuck that offense up. It's really tough to mess up the entire like system that they got. I mean, what you look at Ben Johnson, right? So you look at Ben Johnson. I just think that he's going to make things work in spite of Caleb Williams. They're going to put up 24, 25 points a game as long as Caleb can keep the ball, off the ground.
Breaking news from Rubio: getting the first pick is fun.
It was a lot more fun when, I thought guys like, usually you can get a stray straggler like a Wilson, a Waddle, or McMillan, or a Burden to fall to that spot. But J-Mo was really good too. I did feel a little bit uneasy with that second Swift pick, but at the same time, I think Swift's a good pick.
Well, yeah, if you just ask me like straight up, I normally would go Monty, but I do leaning in to the Bears-Lions game. I'm a big fan of that game.
Yeah.
So anytime I can get pieces from that game and kind of stack it up a little bit. Last year, I was all over the 49ers and Bears. I said, this is the game. We want to have pieces from that game. That game fucking smashed. People won a lot of money because of that game. There were a few games, I think, that smashed for week 17, but that was definitely one of them, Rubio. If you drafted that game, you had a pretty good week if you had stacks of that game here. And I think the Lions Bears, even though it is in Chicago, which does suck. I wish it was in Detroit, obviously. But even though it's in Chicago, Dan Campbell, Ben John, these guys want to go at it. These guys want to put up points, run it up. It's going to be a good game. I'm just buying in, like buy into good offenses. Those are two good offenses. Give me those offenses. What is there, a bird out there? What are you looking at?
Tornado warning, man. It's telling me to get to the basement. I don't see no pit. It feels great.
Telling you, dude, if Rubio gets taken out on the tornado live on stream, that would be crazy.
I'm upstairs. If it starts to rain, I might head downstairs and I might have to leave you. But
oh my god, unbelievable! You see this guy? He's awesome. He's afraid of a little tornado. I mean, come on, what are we doing here?
We've had a few tornado warnings. There was one that we actually had one touchdown right at the mall up here. It was actually like less than 2 miles away. Kind of nice.
Well, hopefully it doesn't impact you. But if we see you duck or run for cover, then we'll just know that the tornado is close to your house. So
you would think it's a perfect day out there right now.
I mean, I think you have nothing to worry about. I'm
not more than a jump scare when you all of a sudden get the emergency alert. You're just like, what's going on?
You're like, why is that thing beeping at me?
Yeah, I got my silence on. Why are my notifications on right now?
All right, so we're through 5. We got Gibbs, Allen, Ibuka, J-Mo, and Swift for the audio listeners there. Where do you live? CW wants to know where you live at. Right. He lives near Big T.
Yeah, right by. We're 15 minutes away, just a little bit south of Cincinnati, Florence, Kentucky area. I live in Union, but yeah, it's nice.
Yep, there you go.
You're probably a little bit north than us, CW. If I had to guess, I would say you are Eastern Indiana or Western Ohio or maybe Middle Ohio. Because I
Yeah,
know that
in the Chicago area,
Chicago area, is that what it is?
I would guess.
Yeah, that would make sense. That because the storms there that held up the Cincinnati Open, the tennis tournament. I'm going to a few times this week, so it'll be fun. But they were delayed today.
Carnell Tate just fell to pick 70 here. We are almost up on the clock. These are some of the top options by ADP. Jalen Warren goes. What do you want to do here?
So, God, Quentin Johnson's going way too high. God damn, what the hell? You guys were making fun of me for picking him at pick 170 2 years ago.
Who do you want? We got to take
Metcalf.
somebody.
DK Metcalf. I think.
Oh my God, DK Metcalf.
2%, 2% JSU.
Hopefully, no. What the heck just happened there?
This player has already been drafted. We took Dak Prescott.
I don't know what happened there.
We got stuck in queue.
We somehow got Dak Prescott. That was not what we wanted. Oh no.
You're lagging on me, JSU. Your internet's going out. You think I would be? You're the one with the.
You think I'm the one with the tornado? What the hell's going on right now?
You were glitching out there, and it took Dak Prescott.
Man. That's brutal.
That's probably
so what happened there was I had to take DK Metcalf for Rubio, and then somehow I clicked Dak Prescott too. What the heck just happened?
Dude, it's got to be Nice Kevin in here.
Is Nice Kevin in this draft?
He's got to be having the.
Does he have Lamb or Pickens?
Oh my God, I'm
Nice Kevin. Are you the Pickens drafter?
Sorry, man.
The Pickens drafter had to go T-Law right there. Poor guy.
Oh, man.
I apologize to the Pickens and Lamb drafter in this draft.
Okay. Well, the Lamb draft we don't have to worry about. That's just easy money. So
yeah, I can grab Ferg and Flournoy and Trace. We can't do that.
We'll get it. We'll right the ship. You know, I think for what it's worth, I do like Dak Prescott from a fantasy perspective a lot this year.
Thanks, Rubio. Thanks.
Great pick, JSU. You did great there. You know, blindly grading your draft.
Naked Dak Prescott is exactly what I was going for there. I would have at least taken like naked Jalen Hurts. Oh, unbelievable. All right. Well, that's unfortunate right there. What are we going to do?
I'm going to cry. No.
Yeah. Dak Prescott and Josh Allen. And we have all these late stacks that we set up too. Son of a gun. What are you going to do?
But to be fair, like I think Josh Allen, like who do we really want to draft from him? We're fine running him naked. So getting a Dak.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could have had. Are you into Tucker Kraft? I just saw him go on my screen. Are you into it at all? Coming off the injury?
Me, moderately. Like I don't think. Like I think there's several tight ends who are going in that 90 to 100 range. That honestly, I think he belongs in that group. Not necessarily ahead of him. I just think. Again, it's a lot of mouths to feed in that Green Bay room. I think Jordan Love's a very good quarterback, but man, I just on a week-to-week basis, who can you trust? And a lot of people are trusting Christian Watson. I ran that path multiple years in a row. He's injury prone. Yeah, I just can't trust anyone in that Green Bay pass catching group.
Red is right. I did get DK Metcalf, the guy who I have no. What do I have?
2% is absurd, JSU, for 2%. A guy who.
No, it's absurd to draft the guy who doesn't fit with Aaron Rodgers after they just signed and drafted another guy that fit better with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, I look at the same time, talent reigns supreme, right? He's going to put up a Devontae Adams stat line this year.
Did you watch Justin Jefferson last year? Does talent reign supreme?
Sometimes. Sometimes it did. I mean, I just think. From an alpha perspective, right? Like you kind of look at the guys around him. Sorry, but like I think he deserves to be going well ahead of Downs, well ahead of Thomas, well ahead of Marvin Harrison, and like because he's the clear alpha in that room. I think Harrison may be more of a debate, but like I just think that there's a path to 120 targets there, right? That's what matters.
breaking news. Aaron did say DK's been crushing in camp. All right, we're almost up here, Rubio, and I'm going to start to cue guys up. So who do you want here at pick 96 and 97?
We glaze Fannin a lot. So Fannin is my guy. Who I think he's
all right. We got Fannin. Who else? Stephon Diggs goes there. Are you into Kenny Gainwell, Wan'Dale Robinson, Michael Pittman?
The Gainwell thing, it frustrates me. We got a little bit of time, so we're gonna have Fannin, right? So, it's kind of this weird range, right? I don't love anyone here. I do think Mekhi Lemon is fine. I think I would rather have Lemon over any of these other wide receivers, and I do think that we should go another wide receiver. So we'll go Fannin, and then I think Mekhi Lemon, bank on a little bit of talent. He was really good at USC. I think there's a lot to like there. I'm bullish on anyone in Philly colors this year, right? I just think that they got rid of the cancer in the locker room, and I think that they kind of get back to their old ways. I think Sirianni is a great coach. I think he can be a little bit arrogant sometimes, but they know how to win, and they got a lot of talent to win too.
All right, we'll go Mekhi Lemon and Fannin there. So we have 2 running backs, just to keep that in mind for our next couple picks. But the good thing is quarterback's done. And
yeah, we're done. We're not a 3 quarterback here. That's right.
Now we've got 4 receivers, solid receivers. Hopefully if Mekhi Lemon can be decent. Ooh, Matthew Golden goes pretty early right there at pick 98. People liking the Golden there.
What's your take on this Green Bay room? I know you probably explained it over several shows, but I haven't caught it yet. But do you like Watson? Do you like Golden?
So my take on Green Bay, one, is when I draft Green Bay, I don't want to draft too much Green Bay because of their schedule. Like if you go look at, I mean, like they play Houston. They play. I don't want to mess with Houston too much in Week 17, but they do play Miami, and I mean they're at Chicago the Week 16. So I think okay matchups for them those 2 weeks, but that Houston matchup is just brutal. So I don't want to have too many, but my take on the receiver is that Matthew Golden's going to play. This has always been my take. So now everyone's like, oh, he's going to play the X. Okay, we'll click him. Jaden Reed's not going to play it. I think they're going to lean more into the 11 personnel. Luke Musgrave can never stay healthy.
Yeah.
You got Tucker Kraft. But I do think Matthew Golden runs, him and Christian Watson clearly run the most receiver routes. Jaden Reed probably plays 60% of the snaps, Rubio, something like that, which is still good enough.
That's a situation that I feel is so much up in the air. I think he's good, but man, on any given fantasy slate, they're going to be one of the hardest teams to figure out on a week-to-week basis. I think for who's going to produce that week. 100%. I think you're right with Golden and Watson running the most routes, but Reed, even when he was healthy last year, he only ran 60-70% of the routes possible, and it's frustrating. It is.
Yeah, I'm not that's a team though where I don't feel like I need to force it.
Yeah,
I if someone falls to me, I'll take a falling Reed. I'll take them sometimes. I'll take a falling Golden or a falling Watson, but I'm not trying to get them. I'm not trying to push them up. I have them, relatively close to what their ADP is, or maybe a spot lower or higher, but no one I'm going to be crazy on. Matthew Golden made the most sense to me early, and I made the case, I think, back in May about just drafting the guy that's going to run probably in 2 wide receiver sets, and they're going to give the first shot at with Watson, and he goes at pick 118, 115. And that kind of looks right because now we're starting to see him move up the board from a click that no one wanted to a click that people are starting to be okay with. And the reason no one wants him is because he was legit one of the worst picks in fantasy football best ball last year.
Yeah.
If you go back and I told you, Rubio, find me the 3 worst picks in best ball last year, Travis Hunter, Matthew Golden. I mean,
Joe Mixon.
No, the running back, Caleb Johnson, who I think you were all over.
Oh, no, I hated John.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you were all over it. You hated Caleb Johnson. You were all over it. Those had to be 3 of the worst picks in best ball. Am I
Yeah,
missing
you're right.
anyone?
Yeah.
Trying to think, did I miss anyone? Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, what Mixon was going real high there because people thought he was actually going to play, and then
Oh yeah, Joe Mixon.
like
Yeah, that
he
was
never. What he's done, his career's done. He's not going to play again. That's wild.
yeah.
That's
His career's
incredible.
done. That's
What
yeah,
year
it's
is
literally
he?
crazy.
It's funny, like you kind of mentioned that with Golden because there was a lot of hype too, where he just looks like a first rounder was kind of the word coming out, which is a high praise, right? He looks like a first rounder in camp last year, and
But everyone talks about like year 2 Rubio, like year 2, right?
yeah,
We want to stock up year 2, but then he didn't play well last year, so like fuck that. We'll pretend like that's not he's not year 2. These rookies sometimes they just maybe they don't pick it up quick enough in year 1.
yep.
Maybe it takes them a little longer. And that's kind of I feel like what they were alluding like the coaches alluded to that before and like oh we started to pick it up at the end of the year. We're up on the clock. It would be we could just go double tap tight end and go Kincaid since we have Allen and Ferguson because we have Dak.
With Fannin too, we got 3 tight ends.
Oh shoot, we have Fannin. Yeah.
Do you want Fergie or Kincaid? We can wait on Fergie.
I think we should go. I think we should go Ferg. So who do you want?
Yeah. Then let's go.
We're going Kincaid because I have him. That's fine. We're going Kincaid. So who do you want with the second one? Because I didn't realize I had him queued. Not Fergie.
No, you're fine. I think Kincaid was a good pick there.
I hate it, but it's okay.
We just talked about him last draft. I think we can either go Shakir, go full Josh Allen stack, or do we want to
go with the running back and go Tracy?
Tracy. I like Tracy. I think Scadavo's injury.
You don't like White, right? You don't like
White?
I
hate White.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we're going Tracy.
Yeah.
I'm low on Scadaboo, and I'm very high on Tyron Tracy. So
I guess I shouldn't say I hate White because I think that there is a path where he's the guy. Like he was still, I can't get these college guys out of my head, right? Like I just think, oh, he was, really good, back in college. What was it, Arizona State or some shit? Like I just think I still think of that Rachaad White, not the one who was kind of just mediocre in Tampa.
The issue with Rachaad White is I think the Laramie Tunsil injury actually helps Rachaad White.
Yeah, no, it makes sense because of this. Like, how many catches can you get in a game? He's the clearest pass catching option in that backfield.
Well, not just that though. I think now they're going to need people they trust out there for pass pro. And what if they don't like? What if Rachaad White's just the better guy in that position? He probably. I mean, JCM. I don't think is going to be the better guy overall in pass protection. So I think he might get. I think he might get really hurt by the Laramie Tunsil injury. Especially with the blind side and everything. Like Jaden Daniels, he's already been hurt. They're gonna try and keep him upright. They want him to stay healthy because we saw when it didn't happen. I mean, I don't know, but I'm not trying to sell Rachaad White. I do have some. I have 9% just because it's DraftKings and APR scoring. I think it's fine, but he's not.
There's a path where he's getting 5 to 6 points in receptions and stuff a game, which is kind of really good at that tag. Like there's an easy path to 12 points that he averages, right? 40 yards rushing,
easy.
4 catches. Like 4 catches would be a lot, but like 3-4 catches a game and 30 yards receiving, right? Then you have the touchdowns mixed in. All of a sudden, you're looking at a pretty easy top 25 RB finish.
And with Jaden Daniels, like it's going to make things easier for the running backs, like in general. Like he's going to open up more stuff for these guys because of the threat of him running. Obviously, teams are going to have to really focus on here. Does Kittle feel like a value if he plays early? Yeah, he probably is a value if if he's out there week 1, he's probably going a little too late. My issue with Kittle is he's always getting banged up. They use him in specific roles. They just drafted Mike Evans. They love him as a blocker out there. He's just a team guy. So they don't need to feed him every game. I don't know. I don't click Kittle very often. I do agree, though. He is kind of a value if he plays week 1. Rubio, how is he not at pick 120 or whatever his ADP is?
I think you just look at everything kind of around the situation. If he's healthy, he's good, right? Like, if he was healthy, where would he be going? Like,
Like
50?
90.
He's high. I think what was he last year? I feel like last year he was like
Yeah,
really early.
yeah, but I don't think he'd go in the Kraft range. Do you think so?
I think he'd go ahead of Kraft.
Really?
Yeah, like
I don't
Kittle
think
was
so.
still elite. I mean, the tight ends in San Francisco when he was hurt and stuff. I like even like Tongas and stuff
Dude,
catching.
Tucker Kraft was like the second best tight end in fantasy football until he got hurt.
Am I low on Tucker Kraft? Am I too low, JSU?
I don't know. I think you're not giving him enough respect, though. I'll tell you that. Respect is right out the window with Tucker Kraft.
I
You're
guess I
giving
guess
him
I am.
zero.
That 2024 year was really good too, and then last year was pacing for that same 60 and
And
60 and
and
9.
don't forget, they lost Dobbs, they lost Wicks. Maybe it's just even
Yeah.
better for maybe it's just even better for Kraft. No, I don't want to sound like I have a ton of Kraft,
No,
but
I think that's a good point. I think I'm going to raise Kraft. I'm going to try and get him in the next few drafts and stuff.
so
That's a
we're
good
up
idea.
here. We've got 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. Here's the board. Chico Conquo's here, Woody Marks, Jalen Naylor. Probably don't need a quarterback. Juwan Johnson, Tyler Algier, Denzel
Do you like
Boston.
Malik Washington at all? I think, if we go that route and then go a running back or something like that, it's up to you here. I think Washington is like not the worst pick.
All right, I'm going to click him because we need a pick here. And then do you want to go with a running back? Do you want to go Algier again? Do you want to go – I know you don't like Marks. Chig,
I think.
Well, we don't need a tight end. I mean, we could go Chig if you like them, but
No, let's do Algier. Let's stack them back to back drafts. I'll be the one guy that we kind of overlap.
You're not into Boston, right?
No,
Okay.
I think his path is honestly not terrible though, right? Like I think that there's actually merit to picking a guy like Denzel Boston. There's sometimes where you just see guys who just go off the board to go off the board, right? Like Jacoby Lane or Elijah Surratt. But I think like with Denzel Boston, it's
Are
very
you
clear.
Trying to hate on all my favorite picks?
No, I'm just trying to hate on easy money and the Ravens.
Oh, okay.
Especially giving the Browns some praise, which that should never be the case. But
Look at my Travis Hunter this year as opposed to 0 last year, by the way. 17% Rubio.
I would have been fine with him. Like I look, last year he was going top 50, which it
was crazy. But you know what I've learned, Rubio? You know what I've learned through doing this for years now? Bet on the guys that people loved the year before and disappointed everyone.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And then they fall 100 picks. Dude, who was one of the best value running backs last year? Ramondre Stevenson. Why did he fall? People hate Ramondre. He had those issues, right? He had those issues with security, ball security, and they drafted Travion Henderson. So people are like, well, Ramondre is just a terrible pick. Javonte Williams. I wasn't on Javonte, but if you drafted Javonte Williams last year, that was a really good pick. Nobody wanted to draft him, though. Same thing with ETN. These were some of the best picks in fantasy football, best ball. And think about it. No one wanted them. They literally were afterthoughts. They were going in the hundreds and stuff like that. 120. It's just sometimes you got to follow like those type of trends. And I think it just makes sense to me. Like, okay, I'm getting a value. There was obviously talent, right? The talent was there, and the talent didn't just disappear. It just didn't work out year one,
Yeah, no, I actually love that point that you made there about some of those running backs, especially like Javonte and Ramondre. Those two guys, like, absolutely off the board basically for a lot of people the next year. And look, I didn't like Hunter because he was going to play both sides of the ball at pick 50. I thought that was absurd.
Yep.
I think at pick 160, it's more than okay. And there was a situation. This wind is really, really bad, JSU. It just picks up really bad.
I was seeing you look over. If you feel the need that you have to duck for cover or go down in your basement, feel free to
it got really bad, really fast. I'm going to turn off my camera, but I'm going to go to the basement where I'll be safe, and I'll come back on. I'll just mute myself. I'll still hear you and everything, but I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. All right. You go do your thing here. Rubio is going to go duck for cover for a second, avoid the tornado that's currently hitting his house. What's going on, my guy? the Spaniard. Good to have you in chat, my friend. Spencer says 0 craft for him. I don't know about that. Boston going to MASH. I agree with that. I'm not pitching at the Little League World Series. That did make me chuckle a little bit here. Rubio ducks for cover. I'm clipping it. Yeah, that's why he turned his camera off, bro. He doesn't want us to see him duck for cover here. Okay. All he wanted to do was make me click Malik Washington at pick 144 and then jump off stream for a second. So Jaden Blue goes right there. Man, the blue stuff, the blue and Lloyd pumps are pretty wild right now. These guys are flying off boards, which is really, there goes Marshawn Lloyd. We are going to be up here in a sec. I am not taking Dylan Sampson kick. Take that off. All right, let's take Flournoy because we need a Dallas guy. So let's take him. And then let's see where we're at. We got 2. That's going to give us 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 6 receivers, and 2 tight ends here. Rubio, we're taking Ryan Flournoy to build out.
I love it. I love Flournoy. He's a good player, man.
What about with our next? We could either go Jonah Coleman, Trey Harris, Terrence Ferguson. Any of these guys you like? Juwan Jennings.
I like Jennings or Coleman. I don't have a preference. My thing with Coleman is I think he's definitely second fiddle. And I think, how many wide receivers we got?
6.
I think Jennings is a good pick here, especially with Gibbs leading our room. I don't think we need to go with Coleman. But my thing with Coleman is like, you talk about, picking guys that a lot of people were on last year, right? Well, who's going to be a guy that kind of underwhelmed? Not completely underwhelmed and stuff, but I do think that I'm blanking on his name. Denver's running back.
J.K. Dobbins.
Not Dobbins.
R.J. Harvey.
Harvey. Yeah. I think Harvey just takes on that significant role. I don't think there will be a lot for Coleman this year in terms of scraps.
Oh, we disagree. You
do.
I think R.J. Harvey, I think the reason they picked Jonah Coleman was because they didn't love what they saw from R.J. Harvey.
That's
specifically in the between the tackles in the run game and stuff like that. I think the pick was to kind of cover themselves if and when JK goes. We know he's not going to play a full season. Like, I don't care. He can say whatever he wants. Like, the guy never makes it through a full season. He's probably not going to play a full season because why would you even take a Jonah Coleman at that point if you don't trust JK to stay healthy? And I think you want Harvey to play a specific role. And I don't think the role is going to change too much, maybe a little bit, but not too much. If JK goes out, I think Jonah just kind of slides into JK's role and then RJ, and it's close to a split, but RJ keeps his role there. So that's kind of my take on the backfield. So I'm kind of lower on JK and RJ Harvey, and I'm clicking Jonah Coleman where he's going right now. I'm just taking
that's a fair take. I respect that take, JSU.
Do you like Jonah Coleman, or do you think he sucks?
I don't know. I thought he was okay at Washington. Okay. I thought he was good. He was a good player. Much better than Nick Singleton.
I thought he was a good player when I watched him, but I didn't know. I know you watch a little more college ball than me. So
was he the CFP team that Washington? Was he in the CFP for them? I can't remember if he was part of that team or not. I don't think he was, because it was Washington made the college football playoff that year. It was 3 years ago. He wasn't a part of that.
Yeah. Terrence Ferguson just went. Damn it. Too sharp. T-Ferg's going to smash. That's one of my highest tight ends, Rubio.
I love the route that they ran like once a game last year. It was a wheel route where he would go out and they would do a play action. Left sideline. Good. You knew it was coming once a game, and his prompt for receiving was always like 5.5 yards, but you knew that pass would go for 30. You could ladder him.
He was always running like deep routes too. So if you caught a ball, you were pretty much getting over.
I thought McVay was put on an absolute masterclass that second half of the season. And once they got all those guys back and stuff, like those 3 tight end sets, that's also another thing why I don't love Adams as much and stuff. They ran a lot of 3 tight end last year, a lot. And it worked. They're not going to go away from that.
No, and they leaned into it. They drafted another tight end. You know what I mean? Like you can tell what these teams are doing by the moves that they're making. And they said, hey, we need another we need another tight end to go with our already 4 tight end room that they had. Like, but we'll see. I mean, they can't. Are they going to keep more than 4 tight ends? Like they can't, right?
I think 4. You never see someone carry more than 4. It used to be 3 and a fullback, and
If
then
there was a team, though, wouldn't it be the Rams with how much like they use them? Like they rotated those guys a lot.
It's funny. I kind of forget that we have no Tutu Atwell there anymore, right? So you got guys who the wide receiver position that maybe they go. That would be a very rare thing to see, but they cut down.
Yeah, but they got Mumps. They got Mumps.
Mumpfield. I love
Mumpfield. That's Big T's guy right there too. I think he loved and they drafted what's his name? CJ Daniels, I think.
Oh, nice.
So we're almost up here, pick 192. Isaac Tesla is still on the board. The fall people do not like to click Mr. Tesla. Do you want to take the ADP dip? Do you like Zachariah Branch, AJ Barner, Gunnar Helm?
Branch sucks. Absolute horrible.
I don't know about that. Who do you want though?
Oh man, we can go with third tight end here, right?
Yeah,
I like Barner. I think that's the safest pick on the board.
I agree with that. We still have one more pick.
Yeah, man, do you like Tesla?
I have a decent amount of Tesla.
I'm more than okay with him. I don't love this wide receiver range, and I think like Tesla would be a guy where all of a sudden,
unless you want to go with a running back here, you see any running backs you like? It's pretty thin.
Nah, not yet. I like getting Katron maybe at the end of this draft. So
I
can say I drafted Katron with you.
Let's do Tesla here. We'll take the dip.
You want a fun fact about Zachariah Branch?
Yeah, give me one.
I might need to be fact checked, but it's definitely in the bottom 5. But I think he had like the lowest ADOT of any Power 5 school or Power 4 school nowadays. I think his like ADOT was like 1 yard or something like that from qualified wide receivers. Now, he only got the ball behind the line of scrimmage.
You think that was just more like they don't think he can run a full route tree, or do you think it was more just the design of the offense and who they had as a play? Because sometimes these teams, they'll just like have players do like this is your role. You know what I mean? Like I'm not sure. Maybe it's the route tree thing. Maybe they.
So I think it's a poor man's Kadarius Toney.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm just being brutally honest there.
My 13% is staring you down right now.
Well, to be fair, Kadarius Toney was a first-round pick and stuff at the time, right? And
well, that's
early. And is there a role for him in that Atlanta team? I think the answer is.
You want to hear my reason for drafting some Zachariah Branch?
Yeah, absolutely.
It has nothing to do with what you're talking about at all. It's literally all has to do with the fact that they have Jahan Dotson, Olamide Zaccheaus, and something named Dylan Drummond as their receiving core.
Don't disrespect Drummond. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to go off the dome here. Ole Miss. I feel like it's
Dylan Drummond went to, let's see, Eastern Michigan.
Whoa! That was way up.
Come on, Rubio. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that is so bad. There had to be a Drummond for Ole Miss.
Thoughts on Troy Franklin here? I like him. Waddle won't stay healthy. Nix already has a connection with Troy since college. Yeah, I don't have a ton of Troy Franklin. I've been clicking some Pat Bryant, but I do think you can make a case to add him to your 20th wide receiver pool. And throw him in some of your best ball drafts. Because like you said, there is a connection with the quarterback. I do think he's definitely the 4th or 5th guy. I think if you do the rankings for them, Pat Bryant kind of steals his thunder, and Sean Payton loves Pat Bryant. You listen to him talk about Pat Bryant, I mean, dude is just glowing. He was doing that interview with Kay Adams, and I thought he was going to have to, mid-interview, change his undies the way he was talking about Pat Bryant. I mean, he's just talking about his hand size and his placement and, how he does everything. And he's big. Oh, he talked about his size 3 different times, Rubio. He loves himself a big-bodied receiver here. and he was talking about how Pat can play every position. Like he loves that about, but he knows every position. He can play anywhere. He loves Pat Bryant. So that's his problem. But if something happens to Waddle or Pat Bryant, that's how a guy like Troy Franklin can get in, because Marvin Mims is going to be used the same way. He's like his role, unless like multiple guys go down, I don't think his role is going to change. Like Troy Franklin, though, the injury, he's definitely going to need an injury, but it could happen.
No, I think, yeah, like you said, like there's very interesting paths in that Broncos wide receiver room. Like, what's Sutton's role going to look like this year? I think the Sutton role is going to be really underwhelming for a lot of people.
I think Sutton was like one of the worst picks on the board that finally people starting to see, and he's starting to fall a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's a rough pick right there. In my opinion, anyway. They were trying to, when Cortland Sutton was there last year, and they, like in some of their biggest games, they were trying to feed Pat Bryant before he'd get a concussion, and then he'd just leave with the concussion. And we'd be like,
so that was one of my biggest DFS days for the main team. I had a Pat Bryant team that he got like concussed on. I was like,
yeah, he had like 6 targets in the first like 2
was
drives.
it the playoff game or something like that? It was something like
I think so.
Like,
I think so. Yeah.
I remember having a great lineup, and it was like, or like it ended up being a great line. I can't remember exactly how it went down, but
it was like a 2-game slate, right?
Yeah, and Pat Bryant like got hurt, and you're just looking at the end of the day. You're like, man, if Pat Bryant played, like it would have been an insane day.
He just couldn't stay healthy at the end of the year. It sucked. Like, it's brutal. But man, if he stays healthy, he's a good player.
Hot take, JC. The weathermen were not wrong. It is really bad outside. This is nonstop thunder and wind. And,
really?
Yeah. I went to the garage, but yeah.
Well, Rubio, I'm glad you got this show in, just in case this is your last show.
Yeah. My last words: don't draft Nick Singleton.
Don't. Right? Don't. He just went on he literally got taken as you said that. He just got taken right there. All right, Keenan Allen goes. Is Pat Bryant gone? Did Pat Bryant get drafted? Yes, he did. Who do you like here? We could do a little more Miami with our Buffalo. We could do a running back here. Like
how many running backs we got?
We got 4.
Okay, let's go running back then. God, I actually don't mind Hoylani. I know that sounds kind of absurd, but I do think
I clicked them.
Yeah, so my thing was, I'll say it after this pick too while we figure this one out.
So this pick, I think we have 8 receivers. We could save running back for the last pick, and we could go receiver here. I think Ted Hurst, Caleb Douglas. Do you like either of those guys?
Wouldn't it be funny to take Surratt?
It would be funny. I think these 2 guys fit our team better.
Okay, yeah, I'm down with Hurst.
One? Hurst?
Yeah, we have a Gook in this one, so it's like
he's like one of my highest drafted receivers.
Really?
Yeah, Ted Hurst. I got 22%. I think
move him up my rankings.
I think he's the only guy on the Bucs who, like, his skill set, like, it doesn't match any of the other receivers that they have.
Yeah, I like that pick. Yeah.
He's the only guy that they can do like specific things with on that team. And like remember, like Baker Mayfield, he loved putting the ball up to Mike Evans in the goal line and stuff. Like Ted Hurst might not play a ton early, but I think he might have a role early. And the role might end up being some deep shots and some goal line looks.
My thing is, like, on the Godwin and Igbukah thing, like they're kind of more of the same player than they are different.
They are. Right? And McMillan is like a very much in between of those guys.
I could easily see Hurst. All of a sudden you just look at it and, like, it's one of those guys where you look down and you're like, it could be like week 8 and you're like, man, he played a lot. Like all of a sudden he played a lot. Like Godwin's snaps are cut down a little bit, because they're just not meshing well or something like that with Igbukah. Like, I don't know. I can see that in the realm of possibility. I like that, especially, I'll be honest. I don't really ever remember clicking his name in college football DFS with 1,000 yards last year. So not bad.
So do you know who he played for?
Georgia State.
Okay. All right. Because a lot of people didn't know where he came from. And then I asked people who like actually watch college football, and they're like, where the heck did a Ted Hurst come from? And I'm like, I don't know, but I've been clicking them for the last like 3 months. So
I gotta plug the college football hub too that Bruce has going on, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's a work of art, man, and we're getting it fully set up. And he's done 99% of the work. I'm just getting the builder up there.
Do we need a screen share the college football hub at the end of the show? Do we need a screen share it real quick?
You know, I think if you want to do that would be awesome.
I'll show it off because Bruce does great work. I mean, he crushes projections every year for us, does them all himself. He's an absolute beast. He does all these games too, even like the small schools, all these small slate. He does it for all of it. The hub is going to be incredible. The NFL hub that Rubio and Stats have been building out is going to be incredible. The
thing is too is like, you know, the best part is being such a great team that we have, and we've always had this team. But man, it feels nice to really work together. And God, you know, just everything. Like Bruce comes in, he gives out, you know, some extension stuff. And I know Hey Yo is moving on, but like Hey Yo is just absolutely awesome. Like a ton of people putting in great work, man. It's actually been really, really fun the last few months, despite being hard work.
100%. Good fella. All good points, fellas. Appreciate the feedback. Absolutely appreciate you hanging out. Don't forget to hit the like button on the video here, guys. You're hanging out with us. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel here. Corey Holt said, just joined, and all I heard was JSU loves Pat Bryant's size. Screw you, Corey Holt. Okay. Pause my ass. Will says, we need Run Pure Sports.
So
in the card
Big T was talking about this yesterday, unprompted. Unreal how that just came up today. Because the Cooper Flag card got pulled yesterday. I tell him, like, how do I buy a pack with this? And he was telling me, sure enough, gets found in Rhode Island.
I was going to say, Big T loves breaking cards, doesn't he? He's been getting into the card space.
Loves it. He texted me about the Cooper Flag thing. We need a running back or a tight end here, right? Or running back would probably be the preferred.
We have good tight ends here. We have 3 good tight ends. So what do you think of?
No, he's not there.
He's not there. What do you think of either James Conner, Jalen Wright, Ollie Gordon, like lean into the
Malik Davis? I got a bold thing for you here. Malik Davis.
He's not gonna play. I'm vetoing. I think I vetoed.
Jalen Wright. Okay.
Jalen Wright.
That's fair. You know, it's your draft, your money. I think Malik Davis is better than Jaden Blue. And I think if Javonte gets hurt,
you know what his problem is? His problem is they're pumping up Blue to play a role that I don't think Malik Davis can play.
That's fair. That's very fair.
And Phil Maffa is also getting some pump too.
Same guys got pub last year. I think Maffa and Blue were Blue did not get pub, I guess, in a positive way last year in training camp and stuff. But Maffa got a lot of buzz last year, and he ended up not being a factor. I think Davis, a sneaky one where all of a sudden I could just see him pop up on some slates and stuff where all of a sudden he's got like 50 yards and a touchdown. You saw spots on, but it was funny because Big T was talking about how like it's just so fun to rip cards, man. It really is.
I haven't gotten into it. I can't. Actually, we have a card shop in my family owns commercial real estate, and there's a card shop in there. Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh yeah. Yep. That guy. They do killer money every year. Rubio. Those shops. They crush it. All the stuff too. Sports, Pokemon, all that crap. He's got it all. What do you guys think of Jack Besh? I don't like him.
No.
I don't think
you don't click Jack Besh. But Jack Besh is not winning you $3 million.
Easy Money really wants us to check out the teams that you're on. So we'll look at Easy Money's team real quick here. Out of the 12 hole, he went CeeDee Lamb, Kenneth Walker, Colston Loveland.
Great pick.
Travis Etienne. Here, Rubio, why don't you go through it right there?
You know, you're just scroll slowly. I'll just do it. I'll give my grade for each pick. We'll give the Easy Money special because it's been a while since I got the Raz on him. All right, A+, C, A-. I think Colston Loveland's going to be great this year. B-. I'm going to go C+ on Tyson. I think there's a role. I think he's a good player. I worry about the health. Caleb Williams sucks. D.
What? Are you kidding me?
You know what? I say that. You know what? I'll upgrade it to a C. It's just a bias. I think he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
He has Ben Johnson. What does it matter? He's got the fucking GOAT.
Because he shouldn't be going ahead of Joe Burrow and Drake May and Jaden Daniels and Dak Prescott. You know where he belongs? He belongs in the Bo Nix range.
Bro, imagine Joe Burrow with Ben Johnson. and Jamar Chase and imagine Ben Johnson on calling the Bengals plays.
I've given Zach Taylor too much hope. Yeah, I wish we had Ben Johnson.
Yeah, no shit. You wish you had Ben Johnson over there.
I do wish we had Ben Johnson. Josh Downs, I'm going to give that a C plus. I think that's a fine pick. Jonathan Brooks,
C plus.
C plus. Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm not. I'm worried about Indianapolis as a total, but if there was someone to succeed.
Are you drunk right now? You just gave Caleb Williams a D and Josh Downs a C plus.
Yeah, I did that. Brooks B minus. Shuck, I'll give that a nice C plus as well to go with your Saint stack. I like it. Keaton Mitchell.
God, no, you missed a pick.
Oh, Pierce. Oh. Did he get Danny Dimes? Okay, I'll upgrade the Colt stack. I don't even have to grade Daniel Jones. I'll upgrade that to a C plus entirely. Keaton Mitchell, I'm gonna give. I know you're a Ravens guy, so you have a lot of hope on it. That's early, man. I just feel like 130 is early on Keaton. I'll give it because we're such Keaton Glazers on this show. I'll give it a C. I just think it just feels like a pick in the 150.
Rubio says that's early. Go look at my ranks.
Cooper C, Hunter B, Ferguson B, Pacheco. Is that in the 190s?
Pacheco. Well, remember he's got the MCL.
Oh yeah, okay.
181. 181.
Okay. I was misreading that. I'll give it a C minus. Probably maybe more like a D plus. D plus, and then I'm going to give it an A. I think Katron is going to be a dog this year. Cooper Kupp D. You know what now? C minus. And then the last one, Charlie Kolar, I'll give that a nice little Ravens boost for you, a nice little C minus.
Oh my God, you're a brutal grader right there.
It's easy money. I have to be brutal. Anyone else would not get that treatment. Everyone else would get the I'd find the positives in their team. I ignore the negatives and tell them to keep it up.
Well, this is our team out of the one hole. We went Gibbs, Josh Allen, Emeka Ibuka, J-Mo, DeAndre Swift, Dak Prescott, who I fucked up on and misclicked. DK Metcalf, Harold Fannin, Mekhi Lemon, Dalton Kincaid, Tyrone Tracy, Malik Washington, Tyler Algier, Ryan Flournoy, Juwan Jennings, AJ Barner, Isaac Tesla, George Halani, Ted Hurst, and Jalen Wright here as the final team. Rubio, before we get out of here, what do you think of that team? And actually, I'll pull up the CFB Hub so you can glaze it a little more before we get out of here.
You ever just take a dump and you turn around and be like, I can't believe I created that monstrosity? Sometimes I feel that way. Like the draft before, I was like, yeah, that's picture perfect. I got to take a picture of that. This one, it's like, you know what? Maybe we fucked up a little bit, right? Maybe we kind of got off the rails a little bit. You know what? I do think overall, though, two great quarterbacks. I think we have the best running back in football for fantasy. There's a lot to like. But I just kind of look at it where it's like, man, I wish we could have the Dak pick back, right? In the sense of we have just a leader in the clubhouse of Josh Allen. We would never take two quarterbacks that early with Josh Allen. And then I love the Fannin pick. I love I'm just worried about wide receivers. I think that's all. Like it becomes where we drafted 9 of them. So I think it was a great draft to draft 9 wide receivers because I think it kind of allows us to make mistakes. And if we do pan out on a few of those wide receivers on a week-to-week basis, I think the upside's still pretty high.
All right, yeah, wasn't our best showing to finish out here, but here is the CFB Hub created by Mr. Bruce over at RunPureSports.com. Here, there also is a best ball part to this hub too.
He's got the best ball extension set up that for college football. It's really good. Just kind of tells you the stacks to kind of keep an eye on bye weeks, especially in college football because they fluctuate so much. Sometimes an underdog, you could be in the playoffs and you have a guy on a bye week. Not ideal, especially if it's a position like a quarterback or whatnot. So he's got all that stuff. And you just look at all those things and he's literally every single day I get a message. Oh man, I'm adding this. I'm adding this. I'm adding that. I'm like, man, this is just look, sometimes it can feel overwhelming, but it's going to be organized so cleanly. We're going to have this done so well where I think it'll flow everything. And if you're just looking for any just college football information in general, whether it's props or DFS or anything like that, completely covered. Bruce, has worked his ass off on it, and it's really nice to kind of see this and eventually, have some slates on it. It's going to be a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, literally the best when you can have one tool where you don't have to
Yeah.
click back and forth and you can just literally everything you need is in this tool. You
Yep.
don't have to go from link to link, from page to page, right, Rubio? It's just
Nope.
all here. You just can click through all these things here, matchups, matchup chart, displays, the most important thing, displays, depth charts, stacks, teams, whatever you want to do here, cores, all the player, like the cores and everything like that will be on this page. So if you want to take Bruce's core
Yep.
or Rubio's or Big T's or JBC's or Third and Slongs or whatever, you want to take their core and you want to just build out 10 lineups, Rubio, or 20 line, whatever you're playing. You know what
You're
I
going to
mean?
be able to do that. You can literally click on a core and then build a lineup around the core and stuff like that in 2
Bang.
clicks. So that's our goal, is to make things really simple, but really also nuanced too. If you know ball, you can really kind of have it be a great tool for you. You know,
Yep.
especially the stuff that we have. Just so you
And
talk
it's
about
got all the latest injury news. It's
yes.
got all this stuff. So if
He
you
just added that. He is making like giant lists and stuff and trying to pull information so that way we don't miss anything when kickoff comes. Not that we've ever missed anything.
which is great because I think there are a lot of people that probably pull this hub up with like 10 or 15 minutes from the slate lock. Maybe they just got off of work or they're about to go to work and they're like, I only have 15 minutes. I can't watch a full show. I can't like click back and forth. I just need to run some teams and make sure I'm not playing dead guys. Okay, let me look at the news real quick. Let me look at the plays, the stacks, the cores, and then run my teams. And this gives you that ability to do it really fast and not have those mistakes and stuff like that. So this is the college football hub. The NFL hub is going to be just as good. It's going to be awesome. They're going to have
man.
preseason.
It's done really well. I got a few improvements to make, but man, a preseason slate Thursday is going to be fun too.
Yep. And you can use that code forever25 right above us for 25% off for life of any package at Run Pure Sports or Run Pure Bets. And it's super, even with the new bets site that we just started and moved over with the new, all the new tools and everything from the bet site, it still comes out to like super cheap. If you use that code for the bets and the DFS, comes out to like 110, 111 bucks or whatever it is, Rubio. Can't beat that.
Can't. Trust me. It's only going to get better too. Like right now, we're still, like I said, I think we're 50% of the way or where we want to be. We were 40% last week, but we made a lot of improvements last 7 days. And I think we'll be at around 85%, I would say, for football, and then probably 100 by the week 4 or so. And I'm basically being where we want to be as a site. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. Obviously,
the new site looks incredible too. Just for people who may not have visited the site, it looks insanely good.
Yeah, I mean, like we've already shown the bet site, but like the whole thing, it's way better. It's way more clean. You can click through it easy. You want to get to the shows, the Weather Edge, Saber, Run Pure Bets, all that stuff. It's just it's super nice. It's so much better. So yeah, tons of good stuff happening over at runpuresports.com. Get in the action here. Forever 25% off for life, as long as you don't unsubscribe for any of the Run Pure Sports or Run Pure Bets packages here and get in the action. Rubio, appreciate you hanging out even through the storm.
Sorry about that. It's kind of really hot in this garage, so I'm immediately jetting off after this show and just going to go shower.
There you go. Rubio's sweating through his drawers right now. We'll let you go shower, Rubio. Thanks again to everyone for hanging out here. I'll finish out with Cam Ward or Shuck DFS stack for week 1. I don't know, probably Shuck. I don't know. Got to dig into the week 1 stuff a little bit more. But I'll be back tomorrow. Me and Coach Speak Index are going to go live at 1 p.m. on his channel. So make sure you get over to Coach Speak in the Coach Speak Index YouTube channel and check us out over there at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be drafting more over on DraftKings. And then I'll be on with Sacrilegious at 8 p.m. Eastern time for our normal show on this channel. You can check us out 8 p.m. That's why you subscribe to this YouTube channel here and don't miss any of the other content we got going on throughout the week. For Rubio Dimes, I am JSU. Good luck in your drafting over on DraftKings. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.